all of our sessions or my sessions or classrooms are recorded. I do upload them to my YouTube channel. I'm kind of behind on that right now. I have like three weeks worth I got to put out there. But because they are recorded, I do ask that once we start the initial training that you do mute yourself. And then at the end of class, if you would just unmute, if you do unmute yourself to talk or ask questions, that if you do have background noise that you shut it off. So if you have, you know, like with me and my grandkids, I just make sure I shut my door. If you have animals that's making noise, just kind of, you know, either quieten them down or have them move out of the room. If you have a TV on or a radio or anything like that, please make sure it's cut down. If you have your cell phone close to your computer, it does generate that squeaking feedback noise or static. So if you have that, just kind of put it a little bit of distance away from your computer or your desktop so we don't get that feedback noise. If you are muted, if you would just unmute if you have a question and go one at a time, just be respectful of each other, and we will get your questions done, and I will make sure I get them answered as best I can. Like I said, if I can't answer it, I will let you know, but I will research an answer and get it back to you as fast as possible. If you are not in our student chat group, let me know if you need to be in there. Some of you, most of you are my personal, some of you are my personal students, and we already have a chat group, so you don't need that. But if you are not my personal student and you want to stay updated on the student classroom information, just let me know and I will add you to the student chat so you can stay up to date on the student classroom information. So I'm opening it up for anybody that has a question or wants to see something specific in training today. Go ahead. All right, Mike, there's TV noise. I can't hear you outside of whatever's in your background. Okay. Any questions, anything specific someone wants to go over today?
Hello, I'm Maria.
Hey, Maria.
How you doing? Thank you for letting me be on your class.
Oh, anytime, darling.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know if we can talk about Response Magic. I know what Rory talked today, but what I want to talk is more detail than what he talked about.
Okay, like what?
Okay, I'm here in Response Magic now, and I went here the other day, and it came up with a new program they have that they will clean up my old emails for me, and it's not coming up again. Also, I find out I have 650 emails. I'm like, oh my God, where all they came from, you know, and I'm really lost. I'm not too sure what to do.
Okay.
With all of them.
All right, so you have, this is the thing, because mine did too. Whenever you have your website out there and you have your Response Magic magnet out there, if you put it on any type of social media, any type of ad site, these marketers or scammers will come in and they will flood your email system with false emails, false numbers. So if you go in and look at all of those contacts you have listed, sometimes you will have random numbers and numerals and letters for a name. You may have it for an email, but if you look at your phone number, every phone number is the same. If you go to your different
contacts, I saw that.
Yeah, if you go to a different contact list, it'll have the same information and it'll have a different phone number, but the phone number will be the same for everybody listed there. So here's the problem with that. It's a scammer. The names are not valid. However, some of the emails are valid. So you have the option, depending on where you are in your Response Magic, that you can send them an email. You can create an email in your autoresponder and send it to everybody in your list and see who responds. If you get a response back, then perfect. Add them to whatever program you're going to add them to, your V marketing, your grapevine, you know, get in contact with them and see what they need and interested in. But for the most part, if you don't get a response from them within the first 7 days of sending out the autoresponder, go into your response magic and delete them because they're not a valid information. And that's now as far as the cleanup email, most of the time that's a paid program. So if you are still using the free Response Magic program and they offer that, it's usually paid. You'll have to pay it or you have to upgrade to a paid program to get that to clean up because I got the same thing. But I pay for mine.
Now, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Okay. Now, what about the 100? After 100, after you want to send 100 emails, right? That's when you need to start paying.
Yes, yes. So, and it's if you have over 100 contacts, and you can have more than 100 contacts in your Response Magic and not have to pay. It's the contacts that are active. So there's some people that have 500-600 names in their Response Magic contact list, but maybe only 20 or 40 of them are active. So it's how many active contacts you have. Active means when you go in there and look, the green dot's highlighted. That means that they are responding. They are at least looking at your emails or SMS messages that you're sending. If it's grayed out, that means they've blocked you and they've told Response Magic, I don't want in contact with this email account anymore. Go ahead and delete anything that's gray. If it's yellow, that means they haven't picked up in several weeks or several contacts. It will eventually go to red. Once it's in red, that means you're on the verge of them being gray. So anything that's in the red, you can try to reach back out to them, send them another email. If you're on the SMS, which is the paid program, send them another one of those. But for the most part, it's email. If they don't pick you up your email or it never turns green, just delete it. That's just less information you have to worry about. So,
now, let me ask you. So, okay, and how I send an email to all of them at once? Can I do that?
Yes. So we go in and create an email. Let me get over here to my Response Magic. So when you go into Response Magic, you see where it says email broadcast. If you have an email already created, you can do that, or you can come under create.
Email, where was the email broadcast?
Yep, so you're going to come here and go to create and go to email. And then you're going to create you an email that you want to put. And it's going to show up like this. You can add whatever, just like Roy did today. You can create the email.
Yes.
And then once you save that email, you're going to name it, and then you're going to save it. And then you're going to come back up here to where it says email send, email broadcast. And then it's going to ask you where you want to send it. And here's all your lists that you have. Some people only have one. I create a list for every magnet I create, so that way I know where it's coming from and what product they've seen. So you click all of these. You do your send date. Now remember, Response Magic does not send anything after 5 o'clock on Friday. I think it's Central Time until Monday. They don't send emails over the weekend. So anything that you want to send out after 5 o'clock will go the next day, unless it's weekend. So then you're going to choose your date that you want it to send out. You're going to send out your time. Now, if you schedule it for Friday before 5 o'clock to go out Saturday morning, they will do that. So you have to schedule it prior to the date, the expiration time. And then it says here, do you want to create a new one, or if you have an existing one? If you click existing one, they're going to pull up all your emails that you have. And then you're going to tell it to send it to all contacts. So that's all the people that you've listed here, and then you're going to proceed. And then it'll pull up your email. You do whatever you need to do to it, and then send. And then it will sit there until the time and date that you have it set to go, and then it will post to those emails. Okay?
Okay, great. Now, okay, now when you get, now that we're here, when somebody message you, right, and in one of that contact lists that you have there, they go to the email that you told them to go to from the ops, right?
Yeah, so whenever you signed up for Response Magic, you had an email that list
Mm-hmm.
go to. So when anybody responds, you're gonna email in that from them from Response Magic saying you had someone sign up for your list, and it'll tell you what list they signed up for. And then they'll give you their information. So you can automatically go to your Response Magic, look them up, and send them an email. Or you can go straight from the email you got and send them a thank you. But I have autoresponders set up so the minute somebody fills out one of my forms, they get a thank you. It says, thank you for filling out my form.
Exactly.
Here's some
Mm-hmm.
information for you. And it just depends on which form they filled out on what page they go to when I send the
Now
thank you.
that's the question I have, because I had a campaign for at least couple weeks, right? But then after that, I had to keep sending them things, right? Because it doesn't go and start again.
No, but if you have an autoresponder out there and you know that autoresponder is set up for going out a week out, and you know, hey, I got 4 weeks of messages going out, then you need to make sure you mark it on your calendar or wherever that,
And
hey, this is
start.
my last week. And then you go back to your autoresponder, and unless you've deleted
Mm-hmm.
the previous ones, it's going to ask you how far out from the last response do you want this new one to go out. I always do mine 7 days out. You know, after 7 days
Where
from the
is
last
the
one.
autoresponder? Where you go? Can you
Right
show me
here.
very fast what you
Yeah, see
know?
right here where it says create automatic
Okay.
key. Yep.
Uh-huh.
So you create that. So if I go in here, it's going to show me my autos that I already have out there. And this is the days that I want it to go out. And so if I want to create another one, I just go in and say, hey, I want to create another message. And then when I go to create, and I always do the is it HTML? Yeah, do the HTML because then you can add links to it. If you do the text message, you don't have these options. So
Exactly.
then when you get finished with it and you go to save, it's going to ask you how far out you want this one. Like, see right here, days from last message to send this
Mm-hmm.
email. So from the time somebody signs up for my Response Magic page, any of them, because I have all of them on the autoresponder, they're going to get those first 7, and anyone I create after that, it'll just pick up to the next one.
Okay. Okay, I think I got it. Days from last, okay. So like if you have one that went out 14 days ago, then you put 15. I don't,
Yeah, so days
they,
from the last one. So if you had one out that went 14 days ago, and that was the last time it went out, it said how long from the last message. You want it to put 1. So if you have one that goes out immediately after they've signed up, then this go out the next day. But now if you want it to go 7 days after the last one that was signed up, then you put 7. So if you had one that went out, say goes out today, then the next autoresponder that you created will go out 7 days
exactly.
from
Okay,
this
so
one. Yeah.
that mean I will have to make sure when was the last one, and then from that one, I think if it was 14 days, then I want to go out like 5 days after the
Yeah.
14 days, I will put 19.
Exactly. No, not 9, because then it'll go out 19 days after the last one. So if it was 14 days after the last one was sent out, then if somebody else signs up, they're going to get that one today. Either the last person that got it was 14, but if somebody else signs up, they're going to get that auto response today. So you're like, well, when do you want them to get next autoresponder? Well, a week from the time of the first one, which is 7 days. So you can set up the time span between each autoresponder would be 5 to 7 days. Unless it's new, then you can do 3 days. You can do 3, 5, 7.
Yeah.
But you don't go out more than, you know, because if you put 19 days, then that's 2 weeks before they get the next one.
Okay, now I click on there and I had to pay for that, right?
No, this comes with your programming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the autoresponder.
if I well, I click in there, and when you click,
Mhm.
when you went to that page where creating automatic email campaign,
Yep.
I know what you're talking about for free. I just want to make sure that if I'm going to be, I mean, working with so many people or whatever, I want to make sure I do it right. But when I click here to create an automatic email, it's bringing me to buy it. But I guess I can skip this then, right?
Yeah, if you've never created one, but first of all, you have to look to see if you have more than 100 active emails. That means they're
I'm going to
green.
check that.
Yeah,
But
so
I
if you
create
have,
campaigns. I
yep,
create campaigns before, and I have the ops too. You know, the how you call them, ops,
opt-in forms.
obtained forms. Thank you.
Yep, the
Yes,
customer magnets.
exactly.
Yep. So
Yes,
yeah,
I had them too.
yep. So if you have more than 100 active, and you haven't upgraded, then that's why it won't let you create anymore. You have to pay for it,
Okay,
and I
well
think
that's
it's $12.95 or something like that a month.
exactly, or a year. Well, this is why I'm excited. So I mean, I'm going to go and account how many green I have and how many yellow, and then the one that some of them are repeated.
Yes. So if
So
you got
it's
to
just true, and
repeat,
they come from like I think is Australia.
yeah. So if you have repeated emails, they're exactly the same. Get rid of it, because if they're green, that's counting against your 100, even though
Got
they're
you. And if
duplicates.
they're yellow, I should do that too,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep. Anything to repeat and exactly the same, get rid of it. And then go from, if they're yellow, you can actually go in and see, hey, if this is an actual number, anything that has a repeat phone number or weird looking name,
Yeah.
anything like that that you can't physically see, first name, last name, you know, get rid of it. More than likely it's a spam account.
Exactly. Now that we're talking about spam, if I send something that can then ruin my email or do something to me.
No, because it's going to come through
Okay.
this autoresponder. It's going to come through Response
Okay.
Magic. It doesn't come to you
Okay.
personally unless they respond back, and then Response Magic says, "Hey, you got a response back from."
I
Um,
got you. Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure that's one of the things. I don't want to make sure I send an email and or something and then I get a virus. So you know how it
no, it
is.
always
Okay.
comes through Response Magic. Then Response Magic lets you know, and then you have the option to come in and look at your list. And then if you something out from your personal email, that's different. But everything that you get from Response Magic should be sent through Response Magic until you
Okay.
verify that, yeah, this is a valid email, this is a valid account. Then you can use in your personal email. But until then, everything should go through Response Magic. That way you have their
Okay.
security protocols in place to teach you.
Now, one more question. If it's in
Mm-hmm.
red, do I should then put them again in a campaign or I should ignore them?
Nope,
Or
I
I should delete them?
wouldn't. Delete it. Because if they're in red, that
Oh,
means they've been there at least 6 to 8 months with no response.
yes, exactly. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Listen, thank you so much and
You're
for
very
everybody
welcome,
to
dear.
listen what I was talking here. Okay,
You're
great.
very welcome.
I'm I'm going to stay in your class.
Oh, go ahead. Sit down. Have a seat.
Thank
Get
you.
something to drink.
Love
All
you.
right. Love you,
Bye.
darling. All right. Who's next? Anybody else got something specific they want me to show you before we start training?
So Sheila, I was going to ask you about creating a folder on the bookmark, but I think I got it figured out.
Okay. But that's something I had on my list because there's some other people that was going to talk that was interested in that. So I'm going to show that today. We're going to go over that now. It's really short. It's really simple on how to create those folders. So even no matter what program you have, all of us should be going through Google or Chrome for our PBS because most of our programs are Google friendly. No matter if you got a Mac, a Toshiba, Dell, HP, or whatever, your program should be Chrome. So when you come to Chrome, you should have this dashboard. You should have these bookmark bars. If you have a slew of names right here on this bookmark bar, and it's just, and you have the little arrows right here, that means any page that you've come to and you thought was important and you hit the little star and saved it, you saved it to the bookmark bar. And that's this right here, and it's probably full. You click on the dots and you got a string of websites right here. So
I don't
what,
see your page.
huh?
I
No,
don't see your page.
mine's
Oh,
organized, so you won't see it on mine. But what we can do is I can pull these out. So see how this is? So let's pull this out here. I'm just going to pull it out. Just pull some things out so you can see how we're going to do this.
You don't have to, but thank you.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
was wondering.
I
I
am.
just want to make sure we're not talking and thinking
Oh,
that we can see
yeah,
what.
you're good. So what happens is a lot of people, they'll pull up a site. So say I want to do some research and I'm in Google and I want to look up Roy's new, or let's just say we're going to do clothing affiliate sites. All right. So here's a whole list of clothing fully amped custom affiliate apparel. The #1 affiliate agent, go through affiliates. So here is 9 fashion affiliate programs that earn large commissions, 97 fashion. All right. So here's a whole page of affiliate programs for clothing. Okay, because a lot of our clothing sites are either hard to get into on CJ, or they just don't come and go, or they're names that people don't recognize. So say I want to mark this site. A lot of you will come here to this little star and you'll hit bookmark and then you'll hit done, and it defaults to your bookmark bar. So, and you just hit done and your book, and it's there, it's bookmarked. Let's go to done. So then you're like, well, where did I put it? And you see these arrows. You have to come here and click the arrows where there's all of your things that couldn't fit on here, because you can only fit so many on here that you can visibly see at one time. So the best thing to do is to create folders. So then what you can do is you're going to come to this star and you're going to see right here where it says more. Once you click on more, you want to make sure that the bookmark bar tab is highlighted. If not, whatever tab you have highlighted, that's where that folder is going to drop into. So you want to make sure you have the bookmark bar highlighted. You're going to come here and click on new folder. And you see it just drops it right up under bookmark. And then you're going to name your folder. So we can do close affiliate sites. All right. And hit save. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that folder. And then you're just going to drag it up to where you want it to go, because you want all your folders visible. Okay. So now, because I have so many here, it won't show it. So now what I can do is I'm going to go through here and see which one of these fit into my folders. Now here's some of the folders that you need to have. You need to have a training folder. I have mine training and RR info. So that means you can put your Paul's website in there. You can put any of the episodes we need, like episode 9, episode 8, our rrr247.com/RRR, which is the master program. You want them there. Any of your renewals that you need to put in there. Those of you that are in memes, there's a doc in there for the renewals. You need that. Those of you that are in instructors or instructors in training, you have the protocol sheets. You want that to put in there. Anything that can help you with your training. Those of you that are on my YouTube sign up, this is where you would put it. This is where you'd put Paul's webinars that he has for his website, Priscilla's if you want to keep up with the wine and dine stuff. So you would put that in a training. Then the other one that I have is on my Zoom meetings. So like for Saturday training, you want to put your Zoom meeting. So whenever you log into Zoom on any of the trainings, do the same thing. Once you log into it, click on that star and have your folder already ready, and then save your Zoom. Then that way you don't have to ask every week, what's the link for the Zoom meeting tonight? You already have it. And once you click it, it brings it straight up. So I have all of my Zoom meetings in here that I have to do on a weekly basis. I have a lot of them. Same thing with marketing sites. Any site that you have an affiliate for, this is where you put it, not the individual affiliate. So if you go to EJ and you get an affiliate for a clothing company or a internet company or a golfing company, you don't need to put link in there. You just need to put the marketing house, which is CJ. Same thing with Wine Ambassador, Valentis, State Base, Response Magic, the TV that we have for Tipping Pool. computer, anything here that you have a personal link to that you need to give out or you market to, this is what your marketing sites need to be. Okay. That way you can pull it up. Well, somebody says, well, what's your link for so-and-so? Okay, hold on, let me pull it up. And so you can pull it up. There's your link. I have my text now in here because I use it for marketing. I have my Google Voice, and so all of that stuff is in here at a click away. I just need to find it. Same thing for ad sites. Any place that you're going to market to. You know, your classifieds for free, your classified ads, USNet ads, any place that you use for advertising, this is where you're going to have a folder for your ad site. Now, web enhancements, that's things that I use to make web pages look good. So I have Jaxi, which helps me find keywords. I have Canva, which helps me, you know, create pictures that are exclusively for my site that I make, you know, either I'm going to use advertising, I'm going to put in my website, I'm going to put on social media. I have Google AdSense here, so I can always go in and keep track of my Google ads. If I want to create another Google ad to put in there or be more specific for what ads show up on there, I have it. I have my label making program in here, so I can go in and my own business cards. I can go in and create my own logos, things like that. My analytics. I also have my broken link checker in here. I have my tiny URL and my plagiarism checker. These are all things that help make my website better. So that's what I have it. I just have it website enhancements. You can just have web help, however you want to name it, that will help you keep updated with what you need. And then I have my social. This is where I have all my social media stuff. My Facebook, my Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have my TV app in here, you know, my Disney thing for my grandkids. I have my Parlor. I have the Facebook support, which is new that Roy created. And then I have my Response Magic. And a lot of people's like, well, why would you have your Response Magic under social? Because it's email, it's marketing. So depending on what you use it, you can put it under your marketing or you put it under social. I put it under social because that's what I use it for. I send people emails out. I send people text messages out. So it just depends on how you want to use it. And then I have my personal stuff. This is everything I have for like my phone, my emails, my banking information, my pizza orders, my Amazon, you know, anything that I have, my Lowe's account, stuff that I want, things my grandson for school. So all of that is here under personal, and you need to make sure you keep it from your business. And then I have information pages. These are pages that I use for research. I've found throughout working, you know, with PBS or even just things that I want to know. I found out that this runs in my family, and I potentially may have it. So I got to get this for this. It's very rare, but it's more common in Native Americans, and I've been experiencing some of the symptoms. So I've been doing some research on it. But this is just, you know, like the Corona beer, you know, we had a big talk about that. So I bookmarked Matt's page for information. The Internet of Things, which is the HIM hubs, I bookmarked that so I can do research. Here's another one, the U.S. states that drink the most wine. There's a great page on there to get information. Then countries that have the most Bitcoin or sell the most Bitcoin, I have that. Same thing, 10 cities that are Bitcoin hotspots. Big cities for gamers, you know, which is the 10 most popular cities that house the most gamers. So that's some of the things I have that I can go back and look at. Salmon fishing. I actually have an affiliate that does outdoor fishing expeditions. So I was like, okay, where's that? And then we had the big salmon thing that we haven't gotten back yet, but I do have a seafood company I market with. So here were some things about salmon fishing that showed me different things like that. And then my Sephora, different things like that. So I have just information. So now you go through here and you see all the different ones you have, and then you just start moving them in the appropriate places. So I have my RR247 training. So I'm just going to drag it to the folder I want it to go in, and it drops it in there. Then I go to the next one, calls. Okay, I know, hey, that's a webinar. So let's go to Zoom. Put that in the Zoom. Go through here, clothing. All right, so I did this one. I want it to go right here, but I don't have the space yet. So I'm going to come here, Google Ads. All right, as soon as I saw it say Google Ads, I'm going to put that right here in Web Enhancements because that's my Google. I always keep my Google there. Thank you for ordering. That's Microsoft. So I'm going to put that in personal because that's something I ordered. Tutorials. That's information. So I'm going to put this up here in information page. Venom Cuba, another information page. Now, here's the thing. I have this clothing affiliate site. So now I can either do this, but there's not enough room up here because I got my limit that I can visually see them. So then I have the option, well, I already have marketing site. So why can't I just add my clothing affiliate site to my marketing site? Okay. And then when I click on my marketing site, I can find my clothing affiliates, but I want to move it up. So I'm going to move it up to right here. So now when I go, it's there. So anytime I find a clothing affiliate site, I just click on my, so I look here and say, hey, I want to look at this one, and say I click on one and I sign up and register for it. And then when I go to save it, okay, so say I want to keep this and I say, okay, I want to bookmark this. So let's bookmark it. Now, here's the name of the site. It's automatically going to put it in marketing unless I change it. And I don't want it to go to marketing. I want it to go to the clothing. So I'm going to click this drop down. And I go down here to where it says choose another folder. I'm going to click on the other folder. And then it pulls up all my folders that I have. Well, there's my clothing affiliate site. So I'm going to click on that one and then hit save. So now when I go to my marketing and I go to clothing, it has this little arrow and it shows me my sites that I have saved in there. And then that way I can keep up with exactly what I have without it being all over here. So now you see I don't have these little arrows over here anymore. Everything is housed according to how I market with them. So I know exactly what's what and where it's at. So that's to help you keep organized. Some of you, when I've seen you in training, you have a list and it goes down and down and down, and it takes you forever to go through and find what you're looking for. And we spend more time looking for stuff than actually training. So this is a way to alleviate, get your sites organized so that when you do need something, you know exactly what folder to in and where to find it. If you have duplicates, because some of you, it's like, all right, I have RRR247, and then I have everything broken out. If you have multiple of the same site, get rid of it, because you can always go in that site and find what you're looking for, unless it's something specific that you go to all the time. Like episode 9, I go to all the time. Modifying the pages, I go through with different ones. You know, those of you that are instructors in training, the flow, you want to keep that up because you will use that quite a bit. But some of it, if it's repetitive, you don't need that. You can get rid of it. And then if you need it, that's what the search bar is for. But just make sure you clean it up. You know, don't have duplicate sites in there if you can help it. Especially, like I said, if they're duplicate and they are the same one, get rid of it. Organize your toolbar, your bookmark bar. The other thing, some of you are having some issues on trying to understand how to utilize your computer software. Just remember, when you hear your instructor say go to your tabs, this is your tabs. It's the very top of your page when you are in your search. This is your tab. You have open up as many tabs as you can for any page that you want. This is your address bar. So when they say look at your address bar to see where it's at, that's address bar. This is my bookmark bar, which is I have all of my folders. Some of you have other bars that you have added. So if you have other bars, then make sure you are aware of what those bars are and where they send you. I just have these three because this is all I need. Some of you have your weather bar up here. Some of you have your stock market bar up here. Some, just all kind of bars you can add. You just don't want to clutter up your web page or even your internet option search engine with things that you really don't need. Now, like my son, and he watches the stock market because he's an investor, then yeah, you want your stock market bar up there. If you're really, that concerned about the weather, yeah, leave it up there. But that's only if you're going to have your internet on 24/7 so you can see the weather changing. But when you come to your internet, you want to make sure that you can see the key things that you really need to see. And then that way you have more space to look into. You don't have so much clutter up here that will distract you from actually what you need to do. Okay, does that make sense?
Sheila, I have a question. It's a little bit off of what you were talking about, but it's back to where you were doing affiliates. Are we allowed to go in and search off the website and take affiliates from there?
Yes, by all means. You don't need to use just the ones that we have. Those are the ones that we know that Roy knows makes money. But say you can't get approval for CJ on something that you really want. You have the option, that's why it's your website, to go out and search for other clothing, other vendors that have affiliate marketing. I have a wig company. We don't have no wig company, but I know a lot of my friends wear hair pieces. They wear wigs. So I actually went out and found an affiliate program that does wigs, and it's great. I have an affiliate that does seafood that we don't have. I have an affiliate that does, personal training we don't have. So your website's yours. You just, the only thing that Roy asked is that if we find something, if it's been approved by him, don't just go out and say, hey guys, I got this. This is where you need to go. Because it may not work for everybody. So what works for you might not work for everybody else. Because it could be your marketing, it could be how you advertise, it could just be the way you write that appeals to somebody. But you can always go, and we highly encourage it, go out there and search for other affiliates that you can use in your website. Go out there and search for other marketing places other than just what we have. The more exposure you get, the better it is for you and your website.
So to get the HTML, what is it called? HTML? Okay, so to get that link, is it the same way?
Yeah, they will explain. So if you get approved for a marketing site, for an affiliate program, they will send you the links. They'll either send it to you in an email or they'll actually give you the site that they set up where you will have your link. But yeah, whenever you sign up for another affiliate, their program might be different than what you're used to, but they will send you a link, say, hey, this is your personal link for our company.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. And you will use it the same way. You'll create a page and use the link that they send you to put in there and then market it. So yeah, it all works the same.
We could always use their photos in our page.
Yep. If you get approved for an affiliate, for the most part, that gives you access to all the information they have to market for them. That includes images. The only thing that I would suggest is a lot of them have the link that goes directly to their site instead of your affiliate site. So that's the one thing that when you do use images from another affiliate, that you make sure that they don't have their personal link on that image, because then just like what we do with memes, they'll click on or key in that link and go straight to the home page instead of going through your link on your page.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
Hey, Sheila?
Yes.
It's Lena Marie.
Hey.
Is there any way to alphabetize what's in your categories?
Yeah, you just move them. Yeah, once
you
they
have
get
to physically do it yourself?
Yeah, you have to do it yourself, because
Okay.
what it does is it puts it in according to how you've put it in. So if I just, it drops it first come, first served. And once you get it in here, you can, move it and say, hey, I want this one here, and alphabetize it how you want to.
Does it have to go to the top or the bottom of the list?
Bottom.
Okay.
Yep, it automatically goes to whatever is the last thing that was entered.
Okay,
So yeah,
awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Because it just makes it so much easier to find if it's advertised.
So yeah, once you get it in there, you can fix it up. The main thing is to have the tabs and have them labeled correctly so that you know this is what's in there. Then once you get them in there, then you can alphabetize them however that's easy for you to get to where you need to go.
All right. I meant to ask you about that when you was helping me make that, and I forgot.
Yeah. And you have a lot.
Yeah, no.
I
Some
have
of
a
them are
question.
duplicate. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a big mine. I have to reorganize all my. I'm okay with the tags and the files, but folders. But I don't understand when you go to the main section where you put the where you have all the folders on the back. How can you move them? Or how I can delete them? Because I have a bunch of them everywhere and I don't know how to get rid of them. The folders, you know what, you have the folder. How can you move the folders under the other folders?
So if you have a folder here, and it's just like I had with the clothing here in the marketing. So if you have folders here and they are similar or actually can go inside of another folder, all you do is just drag it.
Yeah, but no, go to the back where you go to another
Yeah,
folders.
I don't have any. So
Oh, I
yeah,
got you.
yeah. So I
That's
don't
where
have any.
okay,
So
I
if
am a
you
little
have,
bit there.
so if you have this one where it says other bookmarks and you've put stuff there, if you click it, just go here where you go to more, and it shows all your bookmarks.
Yes, there.
So if you
That's
come
where
here,
I get lost.
yeah. So if you have stuff here or even other folders below here, you just click on it. And if there's stuff there and you want to move it, this is where you move it. You just drop and drag it to where you want it to go. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I can do that. I didn't know want to mess it up. So that's what I need to do also, move them like that and organize them like that. If I want to delete one, what I need to do, click on the left and delete it?
Yep. So if you have one that you want to delete, before you delete a folder, make sure there's nothing in it. Or that you've already moved everything to where you want it to move to. And all you have to do is just right click and you see the word delete. You just click on delete and it deletes the folder.
Okay. I got it now. I just did not want to.
Yeah, same thing with the link. If you are in the actual folder, so if I left click and it opens up my folder and say, I want to come here and delete this. I don't really need this. I just right click it and just hit delete and it takes it away. Yep. And it automatically saves it. You know, you don't have to go in and hit save anything. It automatically saves it.
I was going to pretty much ask, oh, she can't hear me. I was going to ask pretty much the same thing. My Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
I don't see the yellow around my name. Oh, there I am. On the book bar here, I have a lot of folders that was transferred when I transferred information from another computer that I really don't need, but I don't want to erase. So how do I move those folders down and move the folders I need now for this new business?
Do the same thing. What you can do is say, like, if you have the 3 dots right here, the arrows, you just click on the arrow and then you move, just drag the ones you want to get off of here and move them over here. And what it's going to do is whatever's at the top, it's just going to shift it over. So you just keep moving, dropping and dragging until you get up here, the ones you want. Now, if there's one, when you click on the 3 bars or the arrow and you see the folder you want, if you drag it to the front, then it's just going to move everything down one.
Okay.
So if you know which ones you want up here that are most relevant, then those are the ones you just pick it up and drag it. And then once you have them here, then you can shift them. Now, if I wanted to come here and put these in alphabetical order, I could, I could just move it over and just, shift it. and there it
Mhm.
is, and it just shifts everything down. So you can basically fix this however you want to. Once you get them here, it doesn't affect this as long as you don't move it over too far. If you move it over too far, then it's just going to shift it down and move the next one up.
Mhm. Mhm. So how do you create a new folder on the book bar there
Okay,
to
so if
show
you
up?
wanted to do a new folder, say you found
Mhm.
something totally new,
Mhm.
say you're doing a search and you wanted to do a new folder. So when you get your search in and you
Mhm.
found your page you want, you're going to come to your star.
Mhm.
It may or may not be highlighted. You're going to come to your star and you're going to click on more.
Mhm.
Now, just like I said, if you want it to go to your bookmark bar, which is tab up here, you have to make sure that folder is highlighted.
Right.
Okay. But now say
Mhm.
if I wanted to go to training, wherever folder you want it to fall underneath, that's
Mhm.
the main folder you want highlighted.
Mhm.
If not, if drop it to wherever the highlight is. So if you want it to go to your bookmark bar, you just click on the bookmark bar folder and you're going to come down here and click on new.
Right.
All right.
Mo-
And you see it drops below the last information or the last you have up here, but
Mhm.
it's under the book bar.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you just come in here and the folder. So I
Yeah.
can just
I
put,
wanted to move up to the book bar. I wanted to be exposed on the book bar.
yep. So, but if you already have too many up here, like you can
Right.
only have so many, then you're going to
Right.
have those three dots right here.
Right.
Okay. And then say there's something up here you see and it's like, well, I don't need that folder anymore, you know,
Mhm.
and you look in it and there's things in there that you've already moved over. And that's the thing, even though you say you don't need it, but you may need it, if it will fit in one of your old other folders, move it there. It's better to move it here than to take up more space because that's just
Mhm.
more space that's slowing down your internet. Because you're,
Right.
even though you're not using it, it's still there. It's still taking up space. So if you can get rid of a folder and just move some stuff, and if you really, really don't need it, get rid of it. If
Mhm.
you need it later, you can always research it and find it again.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good. Thank you.
And then, like I said, if it's something you don't need, then just right click it and hit delete, and it's gone. You're fine.
Good. Mhm.
How I can change? Okay, you know when you go to your link to your website, you know the in the on the next to the link you see like a picture, like
Like
sometimes
here,
you see a W and sometimes let me see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How you change that picture on your website?
um,
Like I see sometimes you have something different, Kathleen has something different, Paul has something different, Rory has
yeah,
something
whenever
different.
you do your main website, so when I come
Mm-hmm.
here, and it's all related to your imaging. So my image on my website, um, my logo. So one of the things that you can do is when you come to your appearance and you can go to your customize. I think this is where I have it. Let's see. And it could be on your thank you page when you go to set a feature image. If it fits the parameters, that will be your image that they see. And I think that's where I have it. Same thing with site identity. When you come here to your site icon, you can upload an image, and that's what my image is. Do you see that?
Yes. I see it. That's what it is.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah, you're just going to come to your appearance. You're going to go to your
Appearance.
customize. Once it comes to customize, you're going to go to your site identity. And
Mm-hmm.
for those that have new sites or have not changed your name of your site, we always get online amazing offers. It's very generic. Some people leave it in their title. I didn't because I want something that's going to be exclusive for me. 100 other people don't have that their website pops up. There's less than 10 people that have Mama Chief in their website. So mine's always ranking up high because I have a very unique name to my site. And then I have a tagline. You don't necessarily have to have a tagline, but you can. The tagline is not something that's shoppable, or they do research it. So if some puts the virtual shopping, my site could still pop up. Some people change their tagline based on the seasons. They can put, get your holiday shopping started early, or summer vacations are right around the corner. However you want to have your tagline, you can put that in there. Then you want to come to your site icon. If you don't have one, it will give you the option to upload an image. May have to make sure that it follows these parameters. If you don't, then it will pick an image in your site that's close to that, and that's what it'll choose. So you have to make sure that it's at least a 5 by 12 pixel. And you do the image sizes just like Paul does always. If you can, if you have the Canva account, it's a free account. You can go to Canva and change it to pixels to fix that. If you have Paint, you can go to Paint on your program. Most HPs come with the Paint program. I think even Mac comes with the Paint program or some version of Paint. And you go in there and resize an image. You always want to make sure that it is in pixels and not in any other format, so that it has to be a minimum of this. It can be bigger if you want it, but it has to be at least this size. And then you just upload your image, and then anytime somebody pulls up your website, that image will represent your whole website. So like mine, for the longest time, it kept changing. I kept saying, why is it changing? I didn't have this here. So whenever somebody would pull up my website, it was always pulling up the image on my thank you page. And since I modify my thank you page quite often with different things, whatever image I put in there, that's the image it would pick. So once you choose this, then this will represent your website every time you pull it up. Anytime someone pulls up your home page, it will represent that site. Now, if they're pulling up a specific page, this still works on pages. So if you have a specific page and you haven't selected or chosen a feature image for that page, then what happened is it's going to pull up the first image that fits the parameters it's looking for, and that image will represent your page always, unless you change it or set a featured image. If that makes sense.
What do you mean by the pixel?
Pixel is the sizing. Images come in different sizings. You can get it in pixels, which pixels are actually the how many frames is in that actual picture that has color or contrast or anything like that. The bigger the pixels, the bigger the page. The smaller the pixels, the smaller the page. The more defined it is. And then you have bytes. You can get it in megabytes. You can get in different things like that. So I'll show you when we go to Canva. You can actually come in here and choose the image, and it'll ask you to resize it, and it'll ask you what format you want it in. And you'll have to excuse me while my website's really slow because I'm on a hotspot. So if I come here and
it's okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So if I come just choose one of my designs that I've created, click on this one, and I want to resize it. So once it comes up, then I have this option to resize. And since I know what the image size or parameters are, most places will give you the parameters of what you need. They'll give you a maximum and a minimum. Those that use US Net ads and any of their marketing or advertising sites, you have a minimum. It has to be a maximum of 500 or 800 pixels. So you have to make sure that you have it smaller than 800 pixels for it to put that ad on your ad or that image on your ad site. So let that come up.
Pixels has different in internet marketing, right? Digital marketing, pixels have different meanings.
Not
right?
on images.
No, but there's been one is images, then you have another the pixels for the
the pixels is just
for the
sizes.
Facebook pixel.
Yeah, so it could be, it just delineates the type of photo that you're using. Pixels is, it's just like a measurement.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I don't
What
know.
is
It's,
a widget?
I hear somebody, but it's not very
Just-
clear.
I'm sorry, this is Livette.
Okay.
What is a widget?
Uh,
WIDGET?
widget
W.
is an HTML code that you
Oh,
put on your site. So I don't know why this isn't pulling up, but you can come here and just hit resize. You can also do it with Paint. You can go in there and resize your image. If it asks for pixels, put pixels. If it asks for any other type of format, you just make sure that whatever it asks for, that's what you use on your resizing. And they do give you a drop down on your resizing. Now for widgets, we can come here and look at your widget. And a widget is a code, and it's an HTML code or an embed code. You hear Paul about all the time when he's using YouTube, he uses the embed code. An embed code is the same thing as an HTML code. It's just got a little bit more information on it. If you're not familiar with HTML or how to use HTML, I suggest you don't go in to try to modify it, because a dot, a slash bar, a comma, a bracket will change your code. It can make it work, not work, make your, just make the whole thing go wonky. So unless you are,
Even an extra space will.
yes, even extra spacing. So unless you are familiar with rewriting code, the best way to do HTML is just copy it straight the way it is. You will get a code when you go to do your response magic. For those of you that do your response magic, that's what you get. So when you come here, those of you that's done response magic magnets, and you're like, well, where's my magnet at? I need to reuse it, or I lost it, or whatever. When you come to your review, excuse me a minute, you have this option here for customer magnets. And that has every magnet you have ever created saved. They go away unless you delete them. So I'm going to come here, and then you just hit get code. And Rory was talking about this today. This is a widget, an HTML code that is for your website. And for those of you that have a new system or have been a while and you do not have Response Magic on your site, you need to get it. That is your lead generator. It's also great for marketing. So you can use it in advertising sites. You can use it in your social media. You can use it in your, excuse me, use it just about anywhere that you can put a link. Even when you're writing and creating your own pages, you can put this widget in, and it helps, they can fill it out straight right there. You have your squeeze links that shows, got a tickle in my throat, excuse me. You have these squeeze links that you use just like you do any other link. Your HTML code right here. So if you copy the link, the code, and you can just hit Control A and Control C to copy, or you can highlight it and copy, either one. Then you're going to go to your site, and if you don't have a Response Magic, I'm going to show you mine. So I'm going to open up, and whenever, this is something I teach all of my students, or tell them, whenever you're working in your website, either creating a new page or enhancing anything, always have 2 tabs of your site open. And that way you can use one to generate internal links and the other one you're using to actually work on. So when I pull up my site and I visit my site, this is your link right here. This is your widget. And it's also your Response Magic code. Okay? So if you don't have one of these on your page, you need to get one. Okay?
How do I get one?
You're going to go to you're going to go to your response. All right, so we're going to create one because I haven't created one in a while. And I want to change that one on the front. So I'm going to come here to where it says create.
You want to create one on my page?
I'm going to create one on mine. And I'm
now, let me ask you, Sheila, are you going to send them to your thank you page, or you're just going to send them to your email for now?
No, when I create response magic forms, I've already created the page I want them to go to.
Okay,
Each
so
one of
what
my,
you need
yeah,
to do is
each,
just add it in there. Okay, so the new student is going to have to make the thank you page.
well, it
We have
depends
to make them.
well, see, that's the thing. We teach them to send them to your thank you page for signing up, but that's totally up to the student. Maybe they have a page they want to highlight. Maybe they're in the anchor offers and they want to send them to their anchor on their anchor page.
Okay.
Yeah, so you send them where you want them to go. We just always taught from the beginning to go to thank you, because when I got in, we didn't have
Thank you.
one. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember.
Yeah.
Exactly. When we got in, we always had this, I'm sorry, the train.
Yeah. Yeah, when we got in, we didn't have major anchors. It was ClickBank and CJ, you know, and I think we had a few other things. So
Yeah, so we can kind of make like an offer page and at the same time tell them, hey, thank you for come to see us. Yes, it's wonderful.
Exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. And we send them directly to Velovita. I love to whatever page. Yes, I love it.
Yes, yes. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to do an opt-in form. For those of you that's never had a response magic form or haven't created one, we're going to create one now. So it says choose an existing list or create a list. And people's like, well, what's this list about? This is a list of all the people that's going to fill out this form. Now, if you have one already and it has a generic one that the computer sets up for you, and you can use that list. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Can't remember which one it was. I might have deleted it. But if you don't have a list, the computer generates one. And that's where everybody that signs up any of your forms will go to. But if I want to create a list so I know exactly what they signed up for, I'm going to come here and create a list, and I'm going to name it. And this list is going to be called Velovita Brain Food. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's my list. I know this magnet I'm creating, anybody that signs up for it, I know they want Velovita, because that's what I'm getting ready to create. So then you're going to have your call to action. All right, so you're going to create your headline. Now, the good thing about it, depending on how big your monitor is, you can see it as you create it. So mine's going to be all right, and then you can change your color. It's always red. Roy prefers red. I'm a purple and fuchsia kind of girl. So I'm going to come down here, and you can change your color. And then once you click choose, it changes automatically. And then you want your call to action. All right, so there's that. And this you can't color coordinate, so that's fine. Now, the thing about this is there is video, so you can put a video link. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to go to my ad sites. I'm going to go to my Velovita. And I'm going to, let me get rid of this. I got too many tabs open for my poor little hotspot. So let's see if I can get this to pull up, because it does have a neat little video in here that you can watch about the Velovita. I think I have it in my ads too. Let's see. Yeah, so here's my video. So if you don't have it, this is the good thing about templates. I also have it in my template. So if you are in Velveeta, if you go to TV under Velveeta, it has the link for that YouTube. But since I already have it saved under my my ads, I'm just going to come here and copy this link for the video. And I'm going to put that video right there, that link. All right. And it's going to, and I'll show you how it's going to look. Now, my questions you want to add, here's your questions. Now, you see these little stars right here. These mean that they cannot leave your form without filling anything that has this star. So I definitely need their first name. I definitely need their last name and their email. Now, here's your other questions that you can have. There's a list of them. After you get their first name, last name, email, then you can do a telephone. Those of you that are doing the free response magic, you want to add the phone, and you can either highlight it or not. Some people kind of get a little leery when they have to give out their phone, so I kind of leave it blank and let them have the option to fill it out. But if they don't, it doesn't keep them from completing the form. Then the other thing I like to know is where they're from. Now, you can put their whole address if you want. I just put the state so that I know what time zone they're in. And I do highlight that because those of you that are doing the V-marketing, those of you that are not, there are rules that we have to follow. And these are federal rules. You are not to call, text, email, or anything before 9 a.m. their time. So I'm on the East Coast, so I have the latest time of all. So my 9 a.m. is 6 a.m. California time. So if I get up in the morning, it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my V-marketing. And I start V-marketing at 9 a.m. and I got somebody in California or Utah or Texas, I'm too early. I will get in trouble. You know, there's hefty fines. They could shut down my website, all kind of things. So you have to make sure that you know what time zone you're in. That's why most of the time I don't start my V-marketing until 12 or 1 o'clock. When we first started, Roy said from 12 to 4 or 2 to 4. That way we're not too early for some and not too late for others. The other time is you can't send anything out after 9 p.m. their time zone. So that's why I put the state so I know what time zone I'm going into. So again, it just depends on what you want to do, what you have that you want people to have access to. So then you have your submit button, which is this right here. People say get instant access, and you know you can put whatever you want there. You can and I just put find out again. I don't like the color, and you can keep the whole thing the same color. You can go here if you wrote the color code down that you did the first one, which usually I do, but I didn't this time. You can just put that color code in there and it will do the same thing. I think it's a 6 something. I'm going the wrong way. We'll leave that. I know it wasn't that color. We'll leave that, see how much. It's pretty close, but that wasn't the color. So then you can say found out more. Now these are the questions that a lot of people get confused on. They'll see this and there's like, oh yeah, I want it to go to Facebook. That's not what that means, that you want them to go to Facebook. This means that they have a Facebook account and that they're going to use their Facebook landing page to fill out your form, which means however they filled out Facebook, that they're going to use. So if they didn't put their name, they didn't put their phone number or address on their Facebook landing page, it won't fill out a form with that information, even though you required it. So I always put no. I want them to fill out my form with my information that I have there, not what they have on Facebook. So that's why I always say no. The other thing is because I pay for SMS, I do want SMS marketing, and then it's going to ask me what list, and I haven't filled out another list, so I always put it under V-marketing, so that goes under my V-marketing. And then here's your privacy statement, and this is their opt-out form. You always want to make sure that you have your name. Some people, their personal business, you know, whatever is good for you. I always put my name because I want them to know who they're dealing with. And then that way, if I send them personal emails, they know who it's from. So if you put your website here or your URL here, and then you go and send them a personal email, say, hey, you filled out my form, I appreciate it. They're going to delete you. They're not even going to read you because they don't know who you are. But because I put my name here, when they see an email, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that name, and they're going to open it up. So see what this is here, make sure it's right, and then you're good to go. Do you want to receive notifications? Again, it depends on if you want to know exactly when somebody fills it out, that it'll ping you on your email. I do. I want to know, because then I can immediately come back and say, oh yeah, I got somebody within, a few hours or minutes after they've signed up, I can send them something, especially if you haven't got that autoresponder set up. This is a good way to be able to know. This is the important page. If you click stay on the page, once they finish your form, it's going to stay on response. I just can say, thank you for filling out Response Magic form, and that's it. They don't know where else to go. They're, hunky-dory. You've lost a potential customer, potential sale. This is what you need to make sure you do, is go to custom URL. And this is where your page is important. So then you're going to your site. You're going to go to your pages, or if you already have a page that's pulled up, and you're going to pull up your site. You're going to pull up a page you want it to go to. And I am going to edit this page. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to get the view page URL, which is my permit. I'm going to copy that address, come back to my Response Magic, and paste that in there. So the reason I did that is so that now whenever they finish filling out my form and they come here and says find out more, as soon as they click that button, it's going to take them to this page. And then they can read about brain fog. And any link they can click on here will take them to my Velavita page. Now I do have to go change it to the new link. So those of you that are in Velavita, Thursday night, the new join links became active. The new customer links became active. You need to go in there and get those and change the links from the previous ones to the new ones. So
now, what about the YouTube link that you put in? So that doesn't show?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to show you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh, you're fine, sweetie. You're fine. So I'm going to come here. Now, before you click submit, now I always like to give credit where credit's due. Roy, he has a paid Magic. I have paid Response Magic. That's fine. I still put it down here so that they know that I am using a marketing firm to generate their lead email. It's mine. Now Roy actually has lead generation companies. So that's why he doesn't do this. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. I don't have a lead generation company, so I want them to know Response Magic is my lead rating company. And that exactly what this information entails. It also protects me, that says, hey, by you filling this out, you're giving me permission to use your email, that I'm going to see information because you gave me your email, unless they block me. So go through and make sure, again, before you leave or before you hit submit, that you have everything the way you want it. And the way you do that is you look at this. Make sure you don't have any misspelling. Make sure you have it exactly the way you want it. Your color is, you have your key information. Everything's checked, your name spelled right. And the reason I say this is once you hit submit, the bad thing about Response Magic is you can't go in and change anything unless, again, like I said, unless you know how to do coding. You can't go in and change it. You have to delete it and start over. So you want to make sure that everything is where you want it, exactly how you want it. So once you get that done and you look and see, yes, everything's kosher, I got my spelling right, and I might just want to come here and put color That's a little, I want to make that a little lighter. There we go. All right. No, I don't want them to use that. Yes, I want to use that. Going to there. Yes, I want to see notifications. Got my custom URL. Yes. Submit and get code. So then I'm going to click here, submit. And then it's going to give me code, which is right here. Now, the thing that you need to understand is that in your widget, any video you put in will not be included in your widget. It just takes up space. Video code is almost as big as this widget code. That would just be too much space. However, in the squeeze link, your video is there. So I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. So I'm going to click on this one. This is the vertical. So let's click on the vertical squeeze link. So when I put this out to social media or put it in an email for somebody or post it on my page and they click it, this is what it shows. There's my video. There's my form.
Yeah, love it.
So,
you
then,
answered me a lot of questions that I was having. Awesome.
And then here's the horizontal. So it just depends on how you want your link to look. So it says, need to get out of the fog. Here's the video. If they like what they see here, they fill out my form. They click find out more information, and it takes them to my brain page. So that's how you use that. Now to put this in our website, I'm going to come here and I'm going to copy this widget. I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to change this widget. So on my front page, I have my salmon. On my consecutive page, let's see what I have on my consecutive pages so I know where I want to put that. So if I go to visit my site, so I have my seafood page there. So if I go to any other site page, I got blue scorpion. So I want to keep my blue scorpion, but I can still update it. So let's go and change it. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go to my widgets. And left menu is your home page. So a lot of people don't realize that. Left of menu is your home page. Right side content bar, all the other pages in your website. So left of menu is home page. Right is consecutive pages outside your home page. So I don't want my consecutive pages to change because I have my blue scorpion there. But I am going to change it because I can always come back. So now what I need to do is find my text for my HTML. And the reason I know where it's at is because I have my Google HTML. Whenever you get Google AdSense, that always has to be first. So I have my Google, I have my search bar, then I have response magic code. So I'm going to come here and you're going to go to the text side, okay? And since I already have a code in there, I'm just going to remove it. You don't want to delete because if you hit delete, it deletes the whole box and then you have to go get a new one. So I'm going to remove that and then I'm just going to paste the new one in, okay? Now, and then hit save. And then I'm going to go to visual and I'll be able to see that it's there, what I need it to be. Now, some of you will look and say, God, you got all this space there. Why do you have all that space there? There's a reason that space there, it's coding. So if you do this and delete all that coding, so this is right above it, and you don't have that space, you messed your code up. So when they go to click your submit button, it's going to go to Response Magic's thank you page because you've messed your coding up and it doesn't know where to send them. So don't get rid of this extra spacing. It's part of your coding. It will mess up your magic page. However, you can add images that will not mess up your coding. So I want to pretty this up. So I'm going to come up here and click Add Media. And I'm going to choose an image that I already have in my media library, or you can upload an image. It really is up to you. And I'm going to come here and get an image that I created. This one right here. And insert it in there. And then I can actually put my link. So if I wanted to go and get my Velveeta link, I can link that. And then hit save. Okay. And then hit done.
Hang on a minute, Sheila. How do you put your link in the picture?
Okay, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So
right.
That's how, since I already have that text there, I didn't pull a text box, but if you didn't have it and you wanted to add it, you would come here, you would grab text, you would click on it, and you would tell it to go to the left and add widget, and it would add to the bottom, and then you basically drag it to wherever you want it to afterwards. The left goes to, and you want one on each page, so you need to put one on the left of menu, and then after you fix it, you need to come back and do one on the right of menu. You can have two separate Response Magic tabs. If you haven't created two separate ones, then you can use the same one up front and back. And then you just add widget and you'll be good to go. So let's go and
I missed something. What did you add that picture on the bottom inside? I don't know you could do that.
Yes, you can. So so let's go here, and I'm going to update my page. And there's my new photo. Not get rid of this extra space. That's what I was saying. You have all this extra space in here. It's part of your code. If you get rid of this extra space when you're doing your widget and you do your visual and you're like, okay, I'm going to move this up so it's all, you know, together. When they go to click this after they fill it out, you've messed your code up, you've taken out your link, and it'll stay on queue for signing up Response Magic form. It will not bring them to your page.
Okay, but then I can add a picture there.
You can add a picture and it won't distort your code. So not only are you giving them information, they can actually see what it does. So they can look at my image and go, okay, this is what this stuff is supposed to do. There's a link there. Now you can actually go in and link that. So if I go to my Velveeta and get my new link, so I'm going to go here to my new link.
Oh my God, I need the record of this video. This is freaking awesome.
So I'm going to go.
I'm loving it.
Let's see. I need to log out because I have my daughter in here and I need to do next one. Oh, come on. That's the bad thing about having hotspot. Doesn't always catch up to you. There we go. So get that in there, and we're going to get our new link. If it lets me. If not, we can pull the old links out, which is probably what we'll do. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to type in brain fog. This is why search is so amazing, and you need to have search. If you take your search tab off, your whole right side will be messed up. Some people's like, hey, I got all this weird stuff. Did you take your search tab off? You have to have search tab. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to grab my link. I'm just going to copy it. Then I'm going to go to this widget. Somebody was asking, well, how do you put a link in that? So I'm going to come to my widget. See this link button? So come here. There's my link I want to edit. I think this is where it's at. And alternative text, brain fog. It's just like any other one that you do. Your link, I'm going to click on my link, custom URL, put it here, paste. There's my Bella Vita, attributes, brain fog, open in a new tab, update. So now, even though and then I'm gonna hit save, and then done. So now when I come to my page, and I update and go to any page on my system, and I go here and click, and I click this picture, which is linked. Watch this. It takes me to my Bella Vita page, and they can sign up. So all kind of things you can do with your website. Response Magic is great. That's why I said when you come to Response Magic, you can actually take this and copy that link. I can go to my social media, go to my Facebook. I have my links already, add templates here. I can come here and grab this, add, and I'm just going to copy that because I'm going to put a different link in. Once my Facebook comes up, let's go ahead and get rid of that. It'll give me a little bit space. So once my Facebook comes up, then I'm going to show you how we're going to use my tips. And like I said, I have templates already made, wrong one, for my Bella Vita. So I have two large advertising sites. I have my video for my Bella Vita already there. I have my headlines that I can put here. I'm actually creating a new page that I'm going to use that's there. And then I have my links. Always make sure you have your links for any page that you've created so you can interchange links with your ads. And as you add more pages, you make sure you update those ad templates. Come on.
So Sheila, where can I get this video from?
It's going to be on my YouTube. So I'll post my YouTube out there before we leave class.
We're gonna need
That
it.
will be great, guys. This is major. You learn in here a major league class.
Yeah.
What the information she's giving you.
Yeah. I agree.
No, we are special for being here right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're making
Thank
me
you,
blush,
Sheila.
Maria.
You're awesome. Oh my God. You know, you answer me so many questions that I have that it's just like, okay, keep coming. Yeah. I'm so
Very
excited.
Good. So thankful.
You made my day.
That's why we're here, to make sure everybody gets what they need. So let's see if I can get this to pull up again. It's kind of taking its time here. So if not, we'll go to an ad site.
Like you said, she records it so you can go back and watch it, and you can pause it and make notes. And
follow
if you
it.
miss some notes, you can come back and go, okay, right there.
Yeah. So
Yeah, what you can do sometimes, you can put it on the if you cannot have both videos in the screen of your computer, you can also watch it on the TV, on the phone, or in another electronic device, and then work in the computer and stop it and work, stop it and work. That's the way we all learn, you know.
Yep. So I'm gonna, since my Facebook's taking forever to come, I'm just gonna do an ad. So I'm gonna come here under miscellaneous, because there's really, I could put this in health and beauty, but I don't want to, because that narrows it down too much. I want everybody to have access to this. So I'm putting it under miscellaneous. Location, I'm just gonna put United States, because this is one that you have to do a specific. So I'm gonna do United States. I also know Bella Vita is in Japan, but I don't think this company goes to Japan. Let's see. Nope. It's not in Japan. I know it's in Mexico. Let's see if Mexico comes up. Not, there we go. So I'm going to put this in Mexico. And I'm going to grab one of my titles, but I'm going to do my ad first because I already got my ad copied. I'm going to paste my ad there. I'm going to come here and I'm going to pull a link, one of my titles. And copy that. And I'm going to paste that here. Asking price, this one you do have to put a price in. So I know Bella Vita's is $16.95 for getting in, but if it's a customer pricing is $87.95. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, something like that.
So here, this is, and it's like, give it a try. But like I said, I want to put my response magic. And as you can see, I've closed out my response magic. And people's going, oh God, how do I get that back? Very simple. Don't spaz out about it. I'm going to show you how to get it. So you're going to come back here. You're going to go to your review. You're going to go to customer magnets. And this is why it's always important to know your magnet. I'm going to come here, get out of fog, get my code, and just come here and recopy this. And then come to my ad site. And this is one of the pages that you can actually put your link in. And I'm just going to put register. Then I'm going to paste that link in there. And then this is one of the sites you can actually have fun with. So nope, don't want to do that. But I can make the whole thing. I want to change the font to something a little bit more fun. Change the size to something that's a little bit more legible. I can actually change the color of this. Make it stand out. And then if I want to change the color to this, make it stand out. And that's a little bit big because I want it all to be together.
Wow, so you can do all that in Response Magic?
Yep, on this one. Yeah, no, this one is actually in the ad. This is in classified ads. So,
okay.
Yep. So you can play around with this one. It's really fun. I'm actually going to go down here and bold this. I want this bolded. So I'm going to come up here and make sure that's bolded. Did it bold? It didn't bold. There we go. So now that's bolded. Now my name, do not use autofill for this. And the reason you don't want to use autofill on this particular site is because then it will put whatever address you have for your autofill. You want it to stick with the address that you put it, which is Mexico. That's where I want it to go. I want it to go to Mexico. If I use my autofill, it's going to put my address in Monroe. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put my name, which I have, which is my website name, Mama T. My phone number, I use my Google Voice number, and trust me, you will get calls and messages left about your ads. I get them all the time. And see, because I didn't do autofill, it didn't change this. And it's hard as a booger to go back and change it if you did do autofill, because it will not always populate back to where you want it to go. Do not change your expiration date on this one. This is your free one. If you change it, charge you. So make sure you do not change it. Then you're going to put in their code. This is just so they know you're not a robot. And then you're going to upload. This one allows you to upload 5 images. So you want to make sure, those of you that are on the memes program, this is where your memes come in so handy. Those of you that are not on the memes program, that's where Canva comes in here, where you can go in and create your own, or just add your website name to a picture and use it. You want to make sure everything that you advertise has a way for them to get back to your website. It doesn't necessarily have to be for the particular thing you're advertising. as long as you have your website URL on there or your website name or logo. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to my Dropbox. I'm going to go to my logos. I have all of mine labeled. I'm going to go to my nootropics. So here I'm going to put my logos in. I'm going to create that one, put that one in, and it's just going to take it a bit, hopefully.
Hey, Sheila, could you show us how to build the folders to put our pictures in?
Yeah. All right, come on,
Thank
I need
you.
this image in. You're welcome. So there's that. I'm going to choose another one. Now, you don't have to do 5, but if you have 5, do 5. I'm going to use, I love my Clint Eastwood. I'm going to do him. And you create folders just like you do with that, like we did earlier in your drop. So I just did all of mine in pictures, and then I went back and named them based on what my product is. So I have a folder for wine, I have a folder for family, I have a folder for nootropics, I have a folder for coffee. So I'll go and show you how I did that. I still have some I have to go in and move around. So let's go here. I love my Jack Nicholson. He's amazing too. So that one.
You know, I'm having a problem that for some reason I cannot see my pictures anymore. And I try everything and everybody's been helping me. And when I go to my pictures, I'm like, you know, like what you do, you go to your folders, I cannot see any of my pictures.
Okay, I'll show you. There's a bunch of people, and sometimes when your computer does an update, it reverts back to that little icon. So I'll show you how to fix that. So let me get this one more. You're welcome. So all of these images so far is for my new nootropics. So then I always like to just throw one in there that's a little bit outside the norm. So either I will do my Valentis, or I'll do wine, or I'll do my PGN, just something different just to put out there. So as soon as this one comes, it does allow me to do 5. The first 4 is always going to be related to my topic that I'm writing about. I'm going to come here and choose another one, and I'm going to go back to my logos, and I'm going to go to my Blue Scorpion because it's still related to health, and I'm going to put one of those images in there.
The Google AdSense doesn't penalize you if you put a picture in Response Magic? That's okay with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they don't advertise on your Response Magic. But you do have to have a lead generator. Those of you that are trying to get Google AdSense approval, if you don't have that lead generator in there, your Response Magic code, that could be what's causing you. You do need a lead generator on your website for Google AdSense. And I'm going to hit post this ad. And if it ever comes up when you get to this spot, or it doesn't come to this spot, it will have a price that says you owe this. So that means you've put something in there or you've changed something from the free program. It could be that you put one picture too many, or you've done something that went outside the free program norm. So you just need to go back in and fix it. So this is how my site's going to look. That looks amazing. These images will rotate out. So that's why you want to make sure you got images that relate back to your website. There's a great program for that. So these are the images. It tells me it's going to go to Mexico. It's going to be Mexico miscellaneous items in the ads. This is the ad it's going to see. There's the link. So if they click on this link, it's going to take them to my Response Magic. So this works twofold. The reason I put this link in here, it takes them to my Response Magic, so I get a new lead in my Response Magic that I can add to my Valentis and V marketing, I can add them to my Grapevine system if you're in Grapevine. So then they get pre-enrolled in Tipping Circle and in emails from Wine Ambassador. But then they also, once they click submit, will go straight to the page I want them to go to, which is my Brain Fog page, so they can sign up and read more information about Velveeta. So that's what those squeeze links in your Response Magic are very good advertising. They work twofold. They actually have two different meanings for them. So then this is done. I've done an ad. It's going to Mexico, where Velveeta is. Velveeta is good in the United States, Japan, Mexico, and Canada. So those are the 4 countries that it's marketable to. You need to flood the market for those that are Velveeta in those 4 countries with all your ads as much as possible on all your ad sites. So somebody asked me about my folder and my logos. So in my folder, I do have Dropbox.
Hey, Sheila, could you real quick go back and repeat those countries?
Oh, Velveeta is in the United States, Mexico, and Japan.
If in the website, if you go to the top right, it's a section that it has the languages, and they have them. Not everything's in the languages, but the videos they read in the Spanish and Japanese language.
Yep. So you can actually see that. So I have the professional Dropbox. I pay the extra money to get it, so my Dropbox is unlimited almost. So when I go to create pictures, I actually have folders. So when you get to Dropbox, if you don't have Dropbox, everybody has this folder. I don't care what computer you have, it comes standard program. It's called Pictures. And you can do the same thing there. So there's some people that they have their pic, they look like this. It's in a folder. So if you click on it, I don't know if I got anything in here. Some of my, I use it for, so some people is like, well, you know, I can't see my images. It looks like a folder. So you can just go to view. And when you go to view, it has this option. Some people, they see their images like this. And there's like, well, I don't, and you don't, a lot of people, when they save an image, you don't name it. So it's got a bunch of random numbers beside it. And you're like, well, I don't know what that is. And you have to click it to see what it is. I name my images. So if this does happen, I know what it is, you know, or I have a good idea of what it is. I know this is going to be a picture, you know, what tomorrow might look like, you know, so it's a meme. But if you have an icon where your picture should go to view, and then you need to go to the either the extra large or the large icon. You don't want it to be, you know, a tile or a list. So sometimes if you see it like that, it could be because it's gotten into a detail. You always want to make sure it's an icon. And then depending on what size you want it to look like. And then that way you should be able to see your actual photo. But sometimes it will revert to a list. If you do an update on your computer, you just need to go to your pictures or wherever it's at. Even if you have it in Drops, it works the same way. You have the view. You just click on the view and make sure that you have it in icon instead of list or detail. Okay. And you
Where
do this.
is the icon again? Where is the icon in there again?
When you go to view, it'll be right here. This is for your view.
Oh, extra large. Okay, I will try that again. Okay.
Yep.
So,
And
okay,
sometimes,
thank you.
and then just sometimes it just depends on how much stuff you have in your computer. If your computer spacing is kind of low, it won't show you your picture because the picture will take too much space. If it's viewed all the time, it will revert it back to the list, and then you click on the picture and it'll up. So depending, again, like I said, this just depends on the spacing. So if you go to your computer and you see that your computer storage is really low, that you've almost maxed out, it may not let you view your images all the time. It might have that list, and then you have to click on each individual picture for it to pull it up. So that's one of the things you can look at. Same thing with here. It depends, like my internet's really slow. All of these that have, because I am on my Dropbox. Dropbox is an internet capable programming. I can pull up my Dropbox on any device that has internet and use pictures. That's why I love it, and have it on my phone. So if I'm doing Instagram, I can just pull up my Dropbox and post a picture, instead of it just being on my computer. So if my computer's really slow, I have these until it catches up, and then my actual images will show. So all you're
That's how
gonna do,
mines look. Listen, that's how all mines look. That blue one. You see that blue
Yep.
one?
and that's
That
just the, yep,
all of them look the same.
yep, and that's the same thing. It's just that your image, your your internet, if you have it on drops, your internet just hasn't caught up. If you let it sit there for a while, it'll catch up.
Wow, really? But they never come up. Okay, I will. Okay,
And
all right. I
yeah,
think it's
excuse me.
something with the computer then.
Yeah, it could be your computer. I know mine's really slow because most of the time they do show.
Mine never
But
show.
and then sometimes you might actually have to click on it one time for it to show up, and then once it shows up, it'll stay. Especially if you have it linked to your
Okay.
Dropbox. If you have it linked to your Dropbox, that could be it. But if you just have it in your pictures on your computer and not linked to your Dropbox, it should be there always. But if it's linked to
Link
your
to my
Dropbox,
Dropbox.
yeah, if it's linked to
Mm.
your Dropbox, it could be that your Dropbox is to the capacity and you just have to click it to show it. That's why, like, once it's in a cloud, that's telling me that I put this one in my cloud, so it's not going to show up until I actually click it. The green ones mean that they're active, but I have to click them because I haven't used them in a while. And my internet's really slow, so they're not going to show up until I do click them. So
Well, that's
one of
another
the,
class.
yep. So
She,
same thing with,
We have a lot to look forward to.
all right, so again, if you want to create a folder, then you make sure you are in your home information, and you just click on where it says new folder. Now your new folder is going to show up in alphabetical order. As long as it's highlighted, you can name it. So if you want to name it just blogging pictures or logos, or if you want to be more specific and put, say, Bella Vita, then that folder is going to be put in alphabetical order based on your folders, not based on your individual pictures, but based on folder. Then whenever you get an image off of Google, so let's go back to Google, and we are going to go here and just look up Bella Vita, and let's see what pulls up for Bella Vita. A lot of stuff, doesn't it? But not what I'm looking for.
New.
So
very
let's
new.
go to images. And because
Sheila, it's spelled wrong?
is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Love
B-I-T-A.
IT. Oh, yeah, I have my V. There we go.
Mhm.
So then here's Bella Vita. Perfect. There's Costa. Everybody say, hey, Costa. So, so here's images that you can pull up for Bella Vita. And say I want to save it. Let's get this one. And then do save image as. A lot of people just hit copy or save, and then they're like, where did it go to? Your computer automatically defaults to a program for anything that you hit for save. If you don't know what that program is, then you're going to be searching all day for whatever you have. I always hit save image as, because then it gives you the option to not only save the image, but to choose where you want it. So I'm going to go to Dropbox. I'm going to find my folder that I named Bella Vita. Make sure did I put it in Dropbox or did I put it in?
I saw it before.
Let's see. I think I put it.
I saw it on the Bella Vita before.
I think I put it in logos. Yep, put it in logos. So you have to remember where you put it. I put it in logos. I put it in Bella Vita. So I'm going to open up that folder and name it. And I'm going to put okay? Because that's the one that's the omega sign. So then that's in there. And if I want to find some more, I can, just choose which ones you want. Here's another one. You can use that one. That'll be great. And it will pull up the last folder that you were in. So if you're going to have a bunch of them that's going to the same place, perfect. You don't have to keep searching for it, but make sure. And you don't have to be really drawn out. You can just put, something that's going to help you understand. Here's another one.
Well, you should be careful using too much of the name of the company, right? Because sometimes
Yes.
people then, yeah.
Yeah, because then what they'll do, that's why I only have the one with the Bella Vita, because they can actually go in and say, what is this Bella Vita? And they'll do a research on Bella Vita and Google and leave your page altogether. And you don't ever want to do that. So that's why you want to choose as many images as you can that don't have it, or add to it. Really, it just depends. So then what you can do is you have your list.
Hey, Sheila, oops, hang
Yes.
on. Last night I took one of the wine pictures of the group of people for the wine ambassadors, and you'd said not to put that on there. So I was so excited. I took out the wine ambassadors, and I just got the picture of the group of people. So I did it because that's what I'd been told. Don't put that name in there. You got to just have the picture. So
You can just don't. Yeah, you can have one or two. I try not to use the name because then that gives them that option. But say you've already you have images in your pictures, then all you have to do is go in and create a bunch of folders, and then name your folders as you create them. Then drop and drag your images. Just like I have here for family. Here's pictures of, it says Jessica and Stephen. That's my husband and daughter. So all I have to do is find my family photo, which is here somewhere, alphabetical. Maybe I don't have it under logos. Thought I did. But I can create a folder. So let's create a folder and put family. Okay, so there's family. And then anything that has to do with my family, I'm just going to drag it up to that folder. And it'll be done. Here's another one. Just move that up. So now it's in a folder, and I can keep going. Here's romance. So I know that is dealing with wine. So I can actually put that in. I can put it in. Let's do relationship. There's one that says logo wine perfect. So look for wine logos right there. Here's another one, lady at the bar. That's wine. I know that's wine, so I'll move that up there to wine. Wine romance. I can put that either in wine or let's do relationships. Here's another one for wine. So this is just things that you can do and just move them to where whatever folder you created. Business cards, I can put that in wine. So I got a lot of wine stuff that I can use. And these are just the old logos, so I can go through here and look at them and see if I need to delete them and get rid of them. I know I need to get rid of this one because it's got direct sellers in it. So I can just come here and hit delete somewhere. Delete. Oh, no, not rename. Delete. So just get rid of it. Same thing with this.
And I've got a couple of pictures that's got direct sellers in there, and I didn't know how to edit it like I just did the family, but it's better. And it's in the background, Sheila, because I didn't see it until I went and looked at my ad like somebody else.
Anything that says direct sellers, you have to delete it because they're no longer in a business. They've gone under. So that's how you can go in and get your images, create folders, and organize even your images, just like you organize your dashboard in your search engine. You can organize your pictures. You can organize your website. You can organize everything so that it's right there for you to go to. So when you are doing your advertising and you have to choose images, when you pull up your image folder, everything's in a category, everything's in a folder, so I can go straight to my wine folder and get all my wine images. I can go to my romance folder or my vacation folder, my coffee folder, and then there's all of my images. You can also do the same thing in a Google Doc. So those of you that might not have a Word document or might not have Microsoft Office, Google Docs are great. So if you have Chrome and Google, you have access to those Google Docs. And they're just like Excel spreadsheets. They're just like Microsoft Office and Microsoft Word. You can in there, you can even create folders to put images and organize them, and then they're with your Google Docs. There's actually an app for Google Docs. There's an app for Google Images that you can, put your Google Docs for. So everything has an app depending on what phone program you have. Mine's in the App Store. Those of you that have, things other than iPhone, you have to go, whatever your app store is, and you can download it. You just have to make sure you got the storage on your phone to be able to handle the app. But there's all kind of ways to make sure that you stay organized. I have my ads all right here in Word. I also have them stored in my Google Docs that I can pull up, use if I'm in the store, pull up my Instagram, and do some stuff from there. So I have them, and a template is something you create. I have people all the time, hey, can you send me a copy of your template? No, because my template is not, it's just that, it's my template. It's things that I've thought about how I want to advertise my particular page. And you do the same thing. Even when you do your Google Docs, categorize them, open up a folder and say, these are going to be, Paul has a great webinar on it. Open up a folder, this is going to be my wine template. Create another folder, this is going to be my Bella Vita template. Open up another folder, this is going to be everything else template. This is going to be my coffee template. And you create your ad template based on how you want people to perceive your page. What would interest you when you are in an ad? Is it the title? Does the title get your interest, or is it kind of blasé? Do you have enough information, your actual description, that's going to keep them interested enough to go click your link? It can be really short, funny, and jazzy, or it can be really long and informational. I have them both. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in or where I want to post it. Same thing with LinkedIn. I tell people all the time, LinkedIn's a great place to pull out your professional side. And when I say professional side, those that's been in corporate America, you know what I'm talking about, on how you talk to people. Those that haven't, this is where you polish your ad, make it presentable to CEOs, business owners, doctors, lawyers, nurses, people that have a better or a higher class or taste in things. They don't mind spending that extra money if it's going to do what it says it's going to do. They're a little bit above, not necessarily, but we all perceive them as being just a little bit above. They are business people. So, cater to them like business people. You want to make sure that it's polished. You want to make sure that you have the wording just right. You want to make sure that you pull out all the positives that the product can do. Make sure that you appeal to them, on a business side. Like my cousin, I told you, she's a PA and she has several different businesses. And the first thing she said was, can I market this to other people? Yeah. Can I set it up in my shop and sell it, or just yeah, you can. So let them know every aspect what the product can do. Bella Vita, it comes in individual packs that you can sell and retail for, depending on how much money they want to get back. Give statistics when you market to business people, if they are available. Give them why. Like I have the one on LinkedIn to realtors. What do you got planned to give to your investors for the holiday? How about a nice bottle of wine? from your own wine club and not only make commission off of it, but also earn free wine. So give them an added, hey, I'm helping my customer. I'm showing my customer or my investor I appreciate them. Plus, I'm going to make some money off of it. So give them all aspects when you're advertising. Don't be just so focused on, hey, I got to make some money. Really think about your clientele that you are advertising to, and keep adding to it. I have 5 different places that I've started new ad templates because I've run out or I got tired of looking for something, or I didn't like the way it sounded, but I still know it's out there to be used. So that's one of the things you can do. And label it, let you know, remind yourself, this is for Bella Vita, this is for coffee, this is for whatever. And you have them there. And then anytime you create a new page, put your link accordingly to what your ad is. And then add another headline based on your new page, add another description. But if the descriptions you have match, you don't have to. But it's good to just freshen up some things. And, like I said, anything that you use or can use for your ad, make sure it's there. My video, and I put video so that I know whenever I'm advertising, if it allows me to put a video link, I have the video link that's there. Especially in social media, videos are key. Especially on Facebook, videos go straight to the top of the news feed. So make sure you have those options, but also make sure that if any other images you use, they can link back to your page. Okay. All right, we have a few more minutes, so I was going to see if there's anything else we need to go over quick.
Yes, Sheila, just a quick question.
Yes.
I noticed on your page, you have different colors than what the normal page is. I know we're supposed to have a set theme, but can I go in and can I change the characteristics of that page without changing the organization?
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you have that reddish background around the outside. Your font has been colored. You can make those changes.
Yeah, that's in your customization. So when you go to customize, it's the same thing, or go to appearance. You can come here. It brings you here. So you have colors that you can choose, your colors here, and you have your color for your background and your link color. Now, if you select the background, you really don't need your background color because your background's going to overshadow that. So, but then you have your link color. Like I said, I like fuchsias and purples. And that will show up for all of your hot headlines, your actual title information. Just make sure whatever you change, you hit publish. Same thing with your header images, which is this right here. You can come here and you can add images. You just want to make sure that they're not too big because that's extra wasted space. But when you do get Google, Google will advertise in that space if they have access to it. But you want to make sure that anything that you add here to advertise, it can relate back to a product that you have in your website. You just don't want to put random pictures in there just because you like them. Like this, I do have a whole web page dedicated to wedding and wedding essentials. I do have a page dedicated to faith and positive mental clarity. I do have a page on cartoons, and where they can get antique, not antique, but movies, classic movies and things like that. That was a rant I had not too long ago about politics and cartoons. We ain't gonna get started on that. That's a whole nother hour. And then wine, again, coffee, things that, like I said, everything in here relates to a page or a topic I have in my website. So that's one of the things you want to make sure that you have, and you can, upload. Then once you get them uploaded, you want to make sure that you come down here and make sure you click randomize, because then that means they stay on a page for X amount of seconds, and then when somebody clicks on another page, then a different site or different picture will appear. If you have your memes, this is a good place to do memes. If you do banners, this is be a good place to put banner ads that will show up on your site, and then you can randomize them. But yeah, just go to customize and you can add. I didn't mean to do that. anything you want to. Same thing with backgrounds. The only thing I would say about your background image is I have this. I just went to Google and looked for background images, found one that I like. Just remember that any kind of background you have, because you do have a basic white background, it will bleed through. So if you have cowboys and Indians on horseback or something, or a scene like that, remember it's going to bleed through. So they will be able to see that image through your wording. So you want something that's not going to overshadow or overpower your site, but complement it. I had one that was a psychedelic paisley kind of thing, and when you looked at it, it was like, oh my God, I couldn't read the page because it felt like I was going down a tunnel. So be very cautious. You want, like I said, you want it to complement your page, not overshadow it. Same thing when you go to colorize, because if you see mine kind of coordinates, I'm all about nation. So that's the other thing. If you do a colorized background and you want to colorize your wording, to make sure that they complement each other. Your website is there to draw attention, but you don't want the extras that overshadow what your actual content is.
I wouldn't use pictures on the background. It'd be more of a slight design like you have there,
yep.
A little pattern in it, but nothing that's going to have big
Perfect.
images in it.
Yeah, so you can go in, and that's the thing. We all have the same template. What makes yours stand out is how you, number one, your content, and number two, how you present it. Your name's the key, like mine, Shop with Mama Chief. Some people, like to leave the amazing online offers and just add to it or circumvent or, expand it a little bit. Again, you want to make sure that whatever the name of your website is or however you choose it, is that it flows with the whole basis of your website. That's a theme. So mine, Shop with Mama Chief. So everybody knows that it's shopping. My whole website's designed around shopping. They know me as Mama Chief. I've been Mama Chief since college. So it's just a name that stuck. So anybody that comes to my site that knows me, they're going to see in it. They're going to be able to relate to any page that they come to, because they're going to be able to see my attitude, my verbiage. They're going to be able to see my passion about what I'm writing about. So that's the thing, is that, and if you don't have a particular niche that you're known for, then this is the perfect place to create one. And just make sure that that theme flows through your whole website, and that it's recognizable. You don't want to pick anything that everybody and their brother has, and it's going to be on page 2000 before they even come to yours, unless you're doing tons and tons of advertising so that you get on those first 3 or 4 pages of Google searches. But you want to make sure it's something that you're going to be proud of, that you don't mind telling people about, and that you can build on it. Same thing with when you go in and design a page, when you choose your colors, choose your background, that it all represents you with your personality. That's basically what I did.
Yeah, I noticed when you put this up, I was immediately drawn to the page because of the colors that are there, and yep. I would like to do something similar.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the thing, is you want to make sure that, like you said, we all have the same, but we should always be different. Our programs all the same, but if you go to different pages, it's all different. People that go online, I have all kind of widgets. I have Google AdSense, so I have all kind of stuff people can get on my site, but my content is still there and they can still read. Most people relate to my pages because I love to write. So, some people are like, well, I like to write, but you have a passion about something. And if you utilize that passion in pages that you have, then that's just better. And you're right, if you're not comfortable in writing, trust me, if you write enough, it'll become second nature. Like me and Paul, I can write a page from beginning to end with pictures, links, and everything in about an hour. So
yeah, but if you practice, you can get it done. I tell you, because I am not a writer. English is even Spanish or English. I'm not a writer, you know what I mean? But I learn and I develop. I develop that that passion. And sometimes you find a product that you like or something you like, and it's amazing how much creativity you can have writing that you don't even knew you had.
Exactly. And that's what I tell people. Experience is the biggest factor in my writing. I research a lot, but yeah, I do. Especially on a new product, I will research the fool out of it till I know it in and out. And if it's a product I've used and got good results, then yeah, I'm going to write about that too. And then that's just the first. And then once I get used to it, then I'll be like, okay, I can put my research and my personal experience together and create a whole different page. And then when you
Yeah,
read
it's
all
all
3 pages,
practice.
yep. And then
Mhm.
if you read all 3 pages, you'll get a different meaning from each page. And it's based on how I've developed through the beginning of getting the product to where I'm at now. And that just comes with, like Maria said, practice, staying in your website, doing something every day in your website. And that's the key to getting where you want to be. If you go, and Roy's not kidding, you know, you go a day and not do anything, it's going to be harder the next day to get in it, and the harder the next day. And the next thing you know, you've gone a whole week and haven't done anything. And then you go in a month and haven't done anything. And then when you try to pick up, you're like, man, where do I start? And the next thing you know, you've gone 3 months and haven't touched your website. And then it's like, well, I'm not making any money. Guess what? If you don't go to your job for 3 months, I promise you, after the 3rd day, you probably won't have one. so, so even though this isn't a job, this is a means to help you get to where you don't need a job. It's just a matter of putting in the time and work. And yes, it is time and work. I'm up here with my daughter. I've been up here for 4.5 weeks. And I have my laptop. I get on my laptop every morning about 7, 8 o'clock. I'm on it every night about 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm creating pages. I'm talking to people. I'm doing ads. Just because I'm up here helping her with her new baby and my new grandson does not exempt me from doing what I need to do with helping my students and getting my pages. Because if it wasn't for me doing what I did in the beginning, I wouldn't be able to be up here for however long she needs me to without having a job and income coming in. Because I have income coming in through my website, but it took me the first year that I was in here to get it to where it's making the money that I need it to be, where I can do now. So it's not an overnight thing, but I promise you, if you stay in it and do it, and when I tell my students, I have my students ask me all the time, what do you mean when you say flood the market? Don't use just one site to advertise with. There's hundreds, thousands of sites and places you can advertise. Do it every day. That means if you have to, pick a couple of different sites a day and advertise whenever you get a free time, free minute. If you can't have time to do a whole page, but hey, I got half an hour, what can I do in half an hour? Go to the most easiest place that you can advertise and post for half an hour. If you have 2 hours, then hey, that's where you can go and sit. And all right, I'm going to do 10 ads to this site. I'm going to do 20 ads to this site. I'm going to do so many ads to this site. You already have your templates, copying and pasting. What drew to this program the first time? Because they said it was easy. You could make money by copying and pasting. Perfect. Copy and paste your templates to your ad sites on the pages you've created. That's what we're in for. Let it work for you once you get up to where it's workable. And that's creating those pages, modifying the one that's in there. I promise you, once you get those ads going, you get that traffic coming. When you go to apply for Google AdSense, it's a done deal. But not without that traffic, not without that advertising, and not without your pages being 100% yours.
Your YouTube, can we have YouTube address? Your YouTube, yeah.
Let me get that for you right now.
Channel.
And my YouTube channel has about 2 years worth, or maybe a year and a half worth of training out there. And I don't, good. Okay. And I don't cut anything out. So if you hear us talking off to on a tangent, if you hear us, you know, discussing some personal stuff, trust me, I don't take anything out, because sometimes hearing somebody else's story might encourage you or let you know that you're not alone out there. There's things that's happening, you know, out there that people just need some encouragement. They need to know that, hey, yeah, that's happening to them too. and keep going. I lost my instructor this week. She came in with Rory, and it devastated me. But I knew she had some issues and some personal things that she really wants to take care of. So I'm having to deal. But I'm not an orphan because I'm directly under Rory, which he told me. But you know, it's just things happen, we unexpected, that we are not aware of. But if we have things in place, it can take care of itself.
I
So
didn't get
everybody,
that address, Sheila.
huh?
I didn't get that YouTube address.
Yeah,
I
it's in
didn't
the
get.
chat.
Oh,
I found Sheila. I have found it because I didn't have your address. I can go to YouTube and I can search for Sheila Matchett and it will
Yep,
pull up your stuff.
and it'll
It
pull up.
throws a bunch of other stuff in there too, but you just look for Sheila Matchett.
And then subscribe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So every time she have a video, we can see her.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to
If
be
you,
pushy, but are you going to put this sometime soon?
oh yeah,
This
I'm
video.
actually, when I leave, when we get off class today, I have to pack up my daughter and grandson. I have to go see my husband. I haven't seen him in a week. My other grandchildren, I've already gotten several phone calls from them. So I'll be traveling all day today. But when I get back home and get settled down, I will upload. I got like 3 weeks I need to upload. But they definitely be in there by Sunday. They will have a description of what each YouTube recording is about. So you can go through and look at the description and see what you need to, you know, if it's what you need to look for,
right.
or what you need to hear, and go from there. But yeah, I'll have them uploaded by the end of the weekend.
Very good.
Thank
Sheila?
you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And those of you that have been transplanted over from Debbie's group, just, you know, I do answer and keep tabs on those groups. So if you have questions, even if you're not in my group, you know, and you have access to any of the other evolution groups or Skype chats, put your question in there, because we monitor the MSIs, we monitor those questions, and even some of the instructors that in training, they have access to monitor your, I promise you, your question will get answered. If it doesn't, just repost it, because sometimes it gets lost in the chatter or other questions. Just repost it if you don't get an answer within a couple hours. I monitor them all the time, just to see if somebody needs something. Kathleen does, Paul does, Stacy does, you know, Roy's on there sometimes when he gets a chance. But there's several instructors in training, MSI, PSIs, CSIs, that can give you an answer to questions, especially if you can't get with the instructor. Always put it in that chat. We will make sure you can get the answer, or direct you to a video or training or something that can help you get a better understanding of what you need.
Sheila?
And don't get
Yes.
frustrated if it doesn't get answered immediately. It will eventually get answered.
Yes, it will.
I
Yes,
had a question about Grapevine.
Okay.
I've been putting contacts in and I'm new to that. And I've been getting a drop-down box that says that Wine Ambassador says that the email address is already registered. And I don't know how that's possible since they're all new leads.
Well, you have to realize that the leads are recycled. So if technically we're not, the lead that you get or the lead form you get supposed to be new, but because they come from a lead generation system, that person could have registered several times with several different lead companies. And the fact that Rory owns 5 lead companies, lead generation companies, that person could have registered several times with several different companies. So
I
their
got
name
you.
could
So
appear
just
on.
eliminate it from my list if I get that
No,
message?
no. If you get
No?
that message, go in and manually register it with Valentis.
Okay, I'll have to check with Priscilla. I don't know how to do that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you can go in, and all you need to do is to manually register them. Is you click on your link that you have them registered. You put in their information. And if they are pre-enrolled already, they will let you know. Valentis will say this customer already exists, or this pre-enrollee already exists. And usually it will give you the name and say, do you want them to be eliminated or added to? And if that's the case, usually I just drop it, because that means they're already enroll with somebody else in our system, and I don't want to take their customer or anything like that, so I just drop it. But usually if it's in wine ambassador, that just means that name's been recycled. So if you try to go and manually put it in Valentis and you don't get that they've already registered, then pre-enroll them.
Okay, I'll check. Yeah, it was something Rory said this morning that I mean, I have like no understanding of Grapevine. I tried to look through the training videos for like an explanation of it, and I'm really not finding anything. But when he said something about it gives them information on all the anchors, I went, whoa, okay, that explains a lot, because I've been sending out some emails and I'm getting all these responses from Vela Vita saying somebody took a tour on my site. I went, wait, what? I didn't contact them about it. You know?
Yeah, so that's what that is. Grapevine, those of you that are in Wine Ambassador and you signed up for Grapevine's $14.95 a month, but you have to be in Ambassador first. And then whenever you get a positive response on your Valentis or V Marketing, you automatically put that name in your Grapevine. You manually enter them. You also get leads. I think it's like once a month. However many times you can get in there before they're gone. Those names go in there, and they are actually put on a rotating list, and they get automatically registered or pre-registered in your Valentis. They get list emails sent from Bella Vita now. They get emails sent from Tipping Pool. They get emails sent from Wine Ambassador, and it rotates. If they have a phone number, the SMS system is back up now. It wasn't before. They were only just getting emails, but now the SMS is back up. So hopefully it's going to work like it's supposed to, because now they'll start getting a text. So if they get pre-enrolled, they'll get a text saying, hey, you've been pre-enrolled in this amazing company. Please go have a text look at it and see what you've gotten, what opportunities is available to you. And if you've pre-enrolled them or put their name in, that link will go to you. So if they sign up, then they become your customer because they've used your link.
So it has lots of fingers. So
yes.
we're all doing a lead, but it's contacting, giving them access to all of the anchors.
Yep. And then you will be, I got one for Wine Ambassador the other day, and I was like, oh, wonderful. So now I'm going to call them and say, okay, I see you registered for my program. Let me tell you what else I have available to you, or show you how to market your wine. So it just leads to all kind of possibilities. So you have a name, but they're going to get funneled to all types of filters that you have.
Do you have a way to organize your email? Because my email basket is chock full of
no, unfortunately,
Bella Vita telling me that they have taken a tour.
Yeah, I don't emails. If I get it, it's like good. You can actually start if you want to, so that you can go back and check on it. I usually don't worry about the emails. I just check off on it. If it's a name, I'll go back to my V Marketing list and I will highlight it. I have certain color codes that I have for different things, and I just go back to my V Marketing list and look and see. The one thing you do need to know, and I don't know if everybody does, I know Roy alluded to it today, is I do enroll them manually into my my Response Magic. Anybody that I get a positive response and I put them in Grapevine, I then turn around and manually enter them into my Response Magic.
Okay, that's great to know. Listen, I wasn't too sure. One time they told us to don't do that, but I'm glad you confirmed that I can do that. So what you do, you go to your website and you put the information there?
You can do that, or you can just pull up your Response Magic and manually enter them. You can go to Response Magic and it has where manually enter them. Either one is okay. You can go to your website. Just don't go under your web where you have admin capability, because it doesn't look that good. So go to a computer or a system that you are not admin on and pull up your site and then register.
Okay, if we don't go to the back office. Now, let me ask you, you also, I always do, but I want to make sure that you do it too. When you get a new lead, you add it to your Trello card, in case they sign up?
Yes.
Okay.
If you a positive lead, you should have, if you don't have an MSI or if you don't have your own board, you should have a column on your MSI's board V-marketing. Like all of my students have their own column. So they can put their new students there, and then they can put their positive leads that they get off of their V-marketing. That way, if that customer or that lead comes in and says, hey, I want a PB, I want to get part of this, then Matt knows he can type in that name because he has access to all the MSI and PSI boards. He can see whose person that is, whose new student that is, and you don't lose your student. So yes, make sure that all your positive leads or positive responses added to your MSI or PSI's board, so that if they do come back and decide they want to get a PBS, Matt knows who to get credit to.
Video.
Got it?
Villa, do we have a video anywhere explaining how the Grapevine, or is it so new that they're still figuring out everything it can do?
No, Paul has one. I think Roy did training
Yeah,
on
he had one, but his
Yeah,
only,
Paul
it
has
said
one.
Grapevine, but it was all Canada page and it didn't say any, it never got to the Grapevine.
Yeah, Roy actually did a training on the Grapevine probably about a month ago on the Saturday training call. So on Wine
Okay.
Ambassador, and I think those are on Priscilla's site. I have to double check.
Yeah, but they keep updating, so sometimes
Yeah.
It was the wine Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's
or
on.
noon?
It's on a
Okay.
It's on a Saturday. It wasn't a Monday. It was actually on a Saturday wine training call.
Okay,
So you
I'll
just
go-
have to look
I'll
at
go
the
research
Saturday
that.
training call. Yeah, but I think all the
Thank you.
wine trainings is on Priscilla's. But he did like an hour and a half on Grapevine when it first came out, and I think the week.
Oh, good.
or 2
Okay,
weeks
I'll go
after,
track it down.
Go check that down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How do I get my list of contacts from my Trello to yours?
I will have to add you. If you are already on Debbie's, just continue to add them there on Debbie's.
I don't know that I have all I've been doing is I set up a Trello myself. I don't think I have one from Debbie.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll add your name. Just Skype me and say, hey, I was the one, because I don't have my notes up right now that's showing me who's speaking where.
Okay.
So yeah, just send me a message and say, hey, I'm positive leads. I need to add to Trello, and I'll set up your name on my board and give access to my MSI board so you can add names.
Okay, good.
With the Response Magic, do you make up a Response Magic app for the different anchors?
Yeah, you can use them for anything. Response Magic is just another marketing tool. And you do need one on your website for Google AdSense. So if you're applying for Google AdSense, you need one on there. But you can interchange them. You need to leave the same one on there all the time. Anytime I have a new anchor, I create a new Response Magic code. And I can use that just like we did today for, another form. And you can use that for advertising. But you can also come in and say, well, I want to update my page and take old one out and put the new one in. So they're interchangeable. You don't have to leave the same one on your site all the time.
Mm-hmm. So you should have one for you. I remember you saying one for Bellalica and the other one maybe for Wine Ambassador or wherever you want them to go. So I'm
exactly. So it's like this is So this is my home page. So on my home page, I have the one for seafood lovers.
Right.
Sephora, at one time, we did have a seafood company. We don't now. But the good thing about it is this goes to my page. I do have another seafood company I market with. So this goes to my seafood page, which has that other company on it. So I'm okay to leave this. But if I go to any other page in my website, it has my new one we made today.
Okay.
So then come Christmas time, or the holidays, I actually have one that created last year that I'm going to replace, that they can go to my shopping page that I have. I've got different internal links where they can go and do toy shopping, they can go and do clothes shopping, then go and do gadget shopping. So each one of them is linked to a page that I have for that. So they can do their Christmas shopping, and it tells them to register. If they want more information on how they can create their own website, they can do that. They will still register, but then when they click the link, it takes them to my holiday shopping page.
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah.
So that's why when I say, create pages, you can have as many pages as you want in your system, and you don't have to have everything on your menu. And this is how you go through here, you do your category page, you add your internal link. I mean, I have almost 300 pages in my website, and I add probably at least 2 pages a week in it. And it's just as I think about that I have access to. I mean, even in CJ, I have about 870 some odd companies I have affiliate links for. I'm not going to run out of things to advertise, I promise you. It's just a matter of having the time to write it, and if it's in season, if it's ending, if it's something people are looking for. Do I have the time to write a page? Do I feel like writing a page about it? But yeah, there's a plethora of things you can advertise for. Even if you don't have a link for something, write the page anyway. If it's something you're passionate about or something that you are knowledgeable about, write the page and then go back and say, well, who do I have that I can get a link for? Everything you write about, you can always come back to one of your anchor offers that you already have, and cross market. I've read a lot of people, they'll say, can you read my site? And I go and read their page, and it's monotone. They only talk about one product, which is fine, but don't have every page like that. Cross market, cross reference, give people more options. So if you're talking about the Velavita and how it makes you feel refreshed, and your brain's so full of energy, and you just want to do something, then tell them, okay, now that you're wide awake, you're refreshed, you feel good, you're invigorated, let's go take that hike you've been wanting to do, or let's go do that trip you wanted to do, or let's start that gym program that you've been wanting to do. And then give them the link to either to your coffee to get the weight off now that you have the energy, or to give the wine to celebrate the fact that you started a new adventure, or Sephora to where they can go and take that mountain hike, go see the Alps, go to Aspen, go to wherever. Cross market to give them an option for whatever they just accomplished. But if you have an informational page and just want to tell them the information about your product, that's perfect. Every page I create, I cross market with something. I don't just leave them with one option. But just me, everybody's different. That's what makes our program so good, is you have different views and different aspects depending on what site you go to.
Yeah, don't get intimidated because Sheila is so awesome. You know what I mean? I promise you, if you stick with it and have passion, you get it done. You know what I mean? It's all what she said, and what they said is true. And I tell you, I am a perfect proof, because I never worked in an office. I never did any of this. I always been very active. You never got me in front of a computer for hours. No way. You know what I mean? But with the time I changed. But this program, you're going to learn to do all this. Not everybody at the same page. I got it. But you will get it done if you really put the time and the effort, and don't put yourself down. You're fine,
I found out what happened with me is I came into this program with a different mindset. It wasn't what I was expecting. When I was approached, it was like I was going to be posting ads for Amazon. But then they started questioning me about the marketing side, and I said, okay, I'll try it, and had no idea about marketing in this way. So I have to change my mindset as to what I'm doing. It's my mindset. I wasn't expecting to be marketing products and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? It was like I have to change my mindset to what I'm doing.
Exactly. And I totally understand that, because when I first got into the program, I was from corporate America. I had been dealing with CEOs and business owners and GMs and marketing directors and, HR personnel for almost 20 years. Just dealing with general public, that wasn't me. I mean, I wore suits and heels and stockings to work every day. I had a certain attitude, a certain personality I had to appear to be every day. So when I got this, it was like, okay, I'm in front of a board. That's how I want to write. You know, I'm writing. I'm not doing ads. I'm not appealing to anybody. I know who I'm appealing to. I'm appealing to my SEO, my CEO. I'm appealing to my GM. I'm appealing to corporate America. And my website was as dry as a bone. I couldn't get nobody to read it worth even my mom. And I cried for 3 days when my mom read. She said, I can't get past this page. And she tried to read the same page for 3 days. I said, well, go to something else. She said, all the same. And they were. I wrote dissertations for every page I modified. Literally. That's what it sounded like. Because I wasn't thinking marketing. I was thinking proposal.
Right.
I wasn't thinking, you know, how would I go and shop? I wasn't thinking shopping. I was thinking this is a business venture. It's going to be business. It took me literally after she did that, I did my whole website in a weekend. The first time I got it, I got my website on a Thursday. From Thursday night to Sunday morning, my whole website was done. Every page.
That's very intimidating.
Yeah. Every page was done. Every image was changed or modified or moved around. I had a link in it, everything. And then I told Mama to read it. And she got back to me like the middle of the next week and said, I don't know what you got yourself into, but please do something else. And I was like, what? She said, take a break. She said, you come back and read your own site. And see, I always had green. All of mine were green. And that's what Paul said. And Roy said, have them green and you'll be fine. Mine were green. What's fine? I went back and read it. Literally, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I didn't do anything else the rest of that week. I had to go find out what I had gotten myself into. I did research on internet marketing. I did research on exactly what it's supposed to do, what it entailed, and then I went to blogging, because internet marketing and blogging is two different things. We've combined the two. Blogging
it's two different things.
Yes. Blogging is social marketing. Blogging is where you give an opinion on a product, on something that you've seen, something that you've heard, but it's all opinion based. And then you give people the option to reply to your response. You give people the option to reply to what you've written about or what you've talked about, and you give them the option to go and see or get that product. That's blogging. It's on social media. We have internet marketing. Well, internet marketing is just that. You're marketing a good and service on the internet, okay? Our website combines the two. We're using blogging, which means our own personal opinion based on data and research that we've accumulated to market a product based on what we found to be true about that product. Does that mean we include facts? Yeah, if you have them. Does that mean we include personal preferences? Yes, you do, because you want to be as honest and professional in your blogs as you would on anything else. So once I figured that out and found me, you know, that college kid that was, you know, staying up till midnight, going to the dances on Saturday, going to the college football game and bowl games and just acting a fool, I had to bring her back too, you know, because there are people out there that I related to like that could relate to me like that. But then I also had to not forget all of my experience, because guess what? You need to market to those people too. So sometimes you do have to find who you are and reinvent yourself sometimes. But once you understand what you have in your system, that yes, it's a marketing tool, it's a lead generation, it's also a blog to let people know that there are other options for them to shop other than just going to the brick and mortar store.
So what do I do when I find out I enjoy the blogging more than the marketing?
Right.
What do I do with that?
Just keep writing, find the things that you are interested in and write it. And then after you do your writing, then you go back and look for a link. And you're like, okay, let me see what options I have out there, what marketing firm I have that's out there. And then you go. You can't get away from advertising. That's just the one thing that we have to do. The good thing about it is you don't have to confront and actually set appointments to people and say, hey, can I come in and talk to you about my product? There's tons of free sites and you just go and copy and paste. That's why the template is key, is you create that template, add to it every once in a while, put your link for your page you created, and just go and copy and paste to those different ad sites. And do it 2 or 3 times a week if you can. If you can only do it once a week, then you choose a day that you have sufficient time. Like mine's usually on Saturday after our call. I will spend from like 7 o'clock to midnight, and I will do nothing but advertising. I'm not going to be able to do that today, but I can do it tomorrow when I get back, or I might do it, you know, one day in the week during the week. This week I did it, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday night. You know, I spent like 3 hours doing nothing but advertising, and I just pulled a template and just copy and pasted.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? Be glad that at least you like something. This is a step. You don't going to have the complete package. This is an education that you're going to have in digital marketing too. And this is a totally new ball game. And, you know, so at least you like blogging. That's awesome. That's writing. So that's one of the hardest parts. So,
Yeah,
you know, look at it something positive. Just start, and you're going to see how you're going to get involved in it, and you're going to start getting it, and it's going to be awesome.
Yes, I enjoy the blogging and the researching, and my opinion. That's the part I enjoy more than anything.
And see, that was me. I'm a researcher. I can research. Just give me. I can spend all day researching. I love finding facts. I love discovering new stuff. And the fun part about it is I love writing, and blogging's the same thing. Use the research that you find, use the blogging, and then incorporate it. If you blog on social media, incorporate it. You know, put in there, say, hey, I just wrote this great article, or I just found out this information on this product. You know, use it to your advantage, your strong point, and then build up your weak points slowly. Or until you're comfortable, but don't neglect your weak points. So say, well, I really don't like that, and then don't do it, because you're leaving out an aspect of your marketing, and you're leaving out an aspect that could potentially change the way your whole website looks and your marketing outlook looks.
Can you do teaching sometime on Facebook, advertising on Facebook?
Yes, I actually have, there's a Facebook training on my YouTube channel, but we can we can do one of those one weekend. And I was going to do some Facebook today, but because I'm on a hotspot instead of a true internet, it's really slow. So it wouldn't pull up my Facebook page.
Okay.
But Facebook, yeah. And my daughter, you know, she actually taught me something this weekend. You know, we use hashtags all the time in Instagram. And she's like, well, Mom, why don't you use tags for your website on Facebook? I was like, what? So now when I go in and comment on something, I'll put hashtag Shot with Mama Chief. So guess what? They'll eventually see all this. They're going to be like, what Shot with Mama Chief? And then they're going to type in Shot with Mama Chief on the internet. And guess what? Boom, there's my website.
Yeah, I have one of my friends in Puerto Rico. She advertised through that's how people find her in Facebook. Just put in the hashtag and Bayamon and the towns and all that.
Yeah.
So
don't put a link. Just put hashtag Shot with Mama Chief.
Yes.
Or whatever your website name is, and just put hashtag everything you put a post on Facebook. You don't even have to market anything. You know, you can be commenting, telling somebody happy birthday, commenting on somebody else's page, or write your own comment out there, and just at the end of just put hashtag whatever your website name is. Don't put your URL, then Facebook's going to say, oh, you put a link in. No, you put in
that's
the title
a good
of your,
idea.
Put in the title of your
I never
your
thought
blog.
about that.
Yeah. And then it's
I
going to
never
be
thought about me make my own hashtag.
Yeah, create your own hashtag. Yep.
I mean, make my own one.
Hashtag is the pound sign, right?
Yep.
Hashtag is the pound sign, right?
Yeah, tag the pound sign.
Okay. I've never been sure about that. It was like hashtag. Everybody's talking about hashtag.
Yeah.
It's a totally new generation.
So that's the way you get around Facebook.
It is.
Yeah, Facebook is a great, and everybody's on Facebook, but you don't always have to be marketing. If you blog on Facebook, then continue to blog on Facebook. It's just after your comment, or even before your comment, however you want to do it, just put hashtag and your website, the name of the website, and create your own following of your website. And then, like my daughter said, they're going to be wondering, well, what is this hashtag, blah, blah, blah? they'll go search it on the internet, and there's your website.
Right.
Now listen, changing for a second the subject. I came here again to my Respond Magic and I Skype you this, and they said that I have in my account 233 contacts. So I should then sign up and pay for, right?
Yeah. If you have
That's
more
a
than
good
100,
idea.
if you have more than 100 active emails, that means somebody's actually accepting your emails as they come out. You have to upgrade to the paid marketing version.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Awesome.
How much is
I
the
don't be looking at Respond Magic for a while. And it's
I
just,
think,
you know, so
yeah,
many
I
things
think,
that we have to do.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Response Mag, if you have 100 active emails, that means you're sending out emails and you have 100 people actively responding or looking at the emails that you're sending out, then you have to upgrade to the paid version, which is $17.95 a month. But then have unlimited. You can put as many out there as you want. You can create as many emails as you want. You can do whatever. It's unlimited.
Well, the one that's showing me here, they say $19.95 a month,
Well, then it's
or
gone up.
have or 120 year subscription for the year.
Yeah, so it just depends on how you do it. Because mine's $17.95 a month. I did it for a year.
Well, you did a
it
couple
came
years
out.
ago
Yeah,
too.
and I think that's what it came out to. And then I pay for the SMS. So that means anybody signs up that has a phone number, I can put them on my SMS and do text messages, and that's an extra $12.95 or $9.95.
Now you have to also set that message up, right?
Yeah, you have to set it up.
But
I tell people
I'm not ready
worry
for that
about
yet.
paying for it until you get that 100 active email subscriptions.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I get that later. So far, what's another time?
All right, so that's all I have for today, unless he has anything else they want me to go over real quick.
Thank you, Sheila.
Oh my God, we love you. I'm talking for everybody. We love you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
I can't wait till we have
hours,
another live event. Me and Miss Maria, we burnt down the dance floor last event.
Oh my God, I know. You know what? This week I'm on vacation, and the reason why I'm having it is because we're supposed to go somewhere this weekend. You remember we were planning to go somewhere, and I'm like, oh man, you know, and it got canceled. So yeah, I'm looking forward to be able to see.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see us in real life, personally,
I know.
face to face.
Going to live events. I can't wait till this is over. So that's all I have. Just, again, know how to contact me on Skype, get on those chat groups if you're on it, ask questions, get with the instructor if you're unfamiliar. I'm here every week unless something happens from 1 to 3 or whenever. I was here, Thursdays and Saturdays, for you to ask questions and training. But there's always my YouTube history programs. Nobody should be left behind. Don't be afraid of questions. There's no stupid questions. For me, you can ask the same question 20 times and I'll give you the same answer. If it gets redundant, I'll be like, here's a video. Hope this helps. Rewind it, fast forward, whatever you need to do. Sometimes it takes asking the same question 20 times before it finally clicks. There's a reason why you asked the same question. You just didn't get it or you're missing something. And that's the only question you have. Sometimes you're asking the question and you don't realize it's the wrong question. And sometimes it takes me being an instructor to hear you asking the same question before it clicks to me. She's asking the same question. I'm giving her the same answer, not clicking. So maybe she's asking the wrong question or I'm answering it to not where she can understand it or they can understand. So it works twofold. So sometimes we actually have to keep asking to see if maybe we are asking the wrong question or we're not just getting it, the answer that we got, we're just not understanding it. So that's what these classes is for. That's why we record them so you can go back and listen and slow it down, take notes, whatever you need to do, and we'll be here. I have students that graduated out of this class that come back anytime something new gets added, just make sure that they got it.
I'm one of them.
Refresher. I go to Roy's. I never miss Paul. Here I am. I do the same thing Paul does. I never miss Paul's class. I'm there every Thursday. I'm there every Sunday.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right.
Every
never-
Tuesday and every Thursday.
Yep. Tuesday, I don't miss Roy's either.
Yep.
Because you never know. Just like today, Roy did training on response magic and things. There's things that you pick up and you're just like, oh, I remember that now. Why haven't I been doing that? I knew to do it, but you just things you have to do or you forget to do. And
Yeah.
just by getting that little refresher, that little, oh, I remember that now. You know, sometimes you need that. You need that refresher. You need that reminder.
Yeah,
don't
this
ever
have
feel-
a lot of, this is a puzzle, you know, and it have a lot of parts. And it's easy sometimes to forget something
Yep.
because, you know, you're doing so many things and then you're like, oh, okay, wait. Or, you know, as you learning, you start realizing that you can do more things.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not always you can start from the top. You have to start from the bottom. And as you, like Sheila was talking, once that you start learning, you start understanding more and you are able to do more things. And
Yep.
you understand the why. You know?
Yep. And like Paul keeps saying, and this is one thing that we're noticing more and more, is, and I even have one of my students on here, she's bad for it, is you feel like you have to copy exactly what you see. Just remember, this is your website. This is my grandbaby, I'm sorry, he's awake. The only don'ts you have is don't change your URL and don't change your password. Other than that, your website's fair game for you to make it the way you want it to be.
Sometimes I make you change your password.
No, not in here. You never change your password.
Oh,
That is
okay.
registered
Google
with the
does,
better.
so.
This
Yeah.
isn't Google. This is your website. Your website is
Okay.
a registered business. If you change your
All right.
password or your URL, you've basically changed your business. And there's a
Okay.
fine and a fee for doing that, just like when you store. If Belts
Okay.
comes up and says they changed their name to whatever, they have to pay a fee to get that name changed.
Wow.
Same thing with you. If you go in and try to change your password or try to change your URL, there's a fee to get it changed back because you are registered as a business. Even though it's an internet business, you still are registered as a business. That's why you get to participate in all the tax breaks businesses get to participate in. Okay, but other than that, if you want to write on political issues, you have that option to do it. We just say don't put it on the beginning of the page. Put it where people have to search it.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, your page, you can do whatever you want to in your website. We just, you know, try to be professional. That's the only thing we say. Just be professional.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Sheila.
You're
You
awesome.
are very welcome. Y'all have a great day.
You have a
I'm
safe drive
Most
home.
enjoyable.
Thank
All
you and be
right.
safe.
Good
All right.
enjoy.
Yep.
Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. Y'all have a
Very
good
good.
one.
Love you, Sheila. Have an awesome
Love you,
day.
darling. You too.
Bye.
Love you too.
Bye.
Hey Sheila,
Hey, dear.
weak as a kitten.
Oh,
Yeah, y'all want to say hey to my baby?
yes. I want to see him.
Oh,
Oh, his face. The picture went out.
Say hey, Mark.
He's getting
Marcia, say
big.
hey. Say
The picture's
hey.
not on there, Sheila.
You don't see my pictures right there?
There it is.
I see.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh,
You say
Oh,
hey.
he's looking
his
at us.
face is so expression. He's ever since the day he was born.
Say hey.
His face is so expressive.
All right, say bye-bye.
bye.
All right, see y'all next week.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.